Hello, how are we doing? How are we doing, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic week. It is Wednesday. We have made it halfway through, Scotty. We are almost there to the end of the week. It is all downhill from here. Welcome to the Action Lab. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your hosts for this show. We are live on Twitch. And hey, guess what, Scotty? Everyone is here for the premier sports and entertainment talk show that
let's go
on live streaming platforms. You know, it's like talking sports with your friends inside your living room, except everyone is all over the world just talking sports with us, having a good time. So that's where we're at. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Scotty, I hope you're having a great week. We are having a fantastic show for you guys tonight. We have a lot to cover. It's going to be a fun show. Might be our best show ever.
Sorry, I'm getting my shit together here. But yes, all those things, blowing a kiss to my wife. And best show ever, Chris. Feel good about this one.
Best show we've ever done. It's guaranteed. I
mean, we need the chat to get involved, though, for that to happen. And there we are. Maybe one day Scotty will have a beard as magical as mine. How do you guys not see this? It's coming in so good.
You know what's going to be interesting is if we get to November or the end of October and your beard is still that length.
You know, thank you, Belly. Belly coming in saying, I agree, the facial hair be looking fire.
Welcome in, everybody. Let's give shout outs to everybody in the chat. Chippo the Hippo, we haven't seen in a while. What's up, Chippo? Clout, what's going on? Diacola Devil Doc. Rec, what's going on, Rec? Belly, what's up, Belly? It's been a while. How you doing, Andy? Everyone's rolling in, trickling in. Welcome.
What's good? I missed like half those. Half those aren't even in my chat.
I agree. The facial hair be looking fire, says Belly.
Yeah.
Andy, what happens first? Scotty grows a beard or the Broncos win a Super Bowl? Well, I mean, Scotty's gonna grow a beard by October. Broncos will win the Super Bowl in the spring. So, it's gonna happen first. That Scotty, both will happen this year. It's just,
I mean, the only time teams win Super Bowls in the spring, regardless, Chris, is if you're playing Madden. So, are you talking about a Madden? Are you playing like a Madden season with the Broncos? Because the Broncos aren't sniffing any sort of actual Super Bowl anytime soon, sir.
Reckoning says February is in winter. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, thank you, Reckoning. I'm like, spring. He's playing a season of Madden.
I get them all mixed up. By the way, I got my new
showing it off.
There it is, Patrick Surtain, baby. We got it all in the mail this week. I got some fresh digs for the season. Oh man, just in time too. I guarantee. But like, it took. I ordered this through the NFL, and by the way, they have sweet deals. You could get like, I think
they always do.
They always
do. Trap.
It's a trap.
It's not actually a deal. It's just they literally always have. It's just overpriced.
Yeah. They I think like the jerseys on there like are $160, $170, and then they give you the discount down to like 110, 100, something like that. So they hook you up with a discount.
Wait, how much did you pay for that?
Don't worry about it.
You can easily find you can find good jerseys actually on Amazon for like $50 that look the exact same.
I mean this
and probably actually look a lot better because they're not bright orange and ugly. And I'm trying to make a joke about the number 2 joke. It sounds like I'm Canadian or something.
You might be.
About the number 2, but I can't even think of something where the Broncos finished second in. Like they're further back than that. Well, I got them finishing 4th in the division.
They'll finish second behind maybe the Raiders, and then at tops, and then it's going to go Chargers, Chiefs.
Dude, it sounds like you're going to have a wild Madden season, dude. that Madden season is wild. You're talking about.
Yeah, and then I mean, originally I was contemplating going with the number 3. But then I ended up just going. I went down a digit to the number 2, so we're fine. But yeah, hey, what's going on, Moon Princess? What's up, Moon? How we doing?
8 months, Moon. 8 months of fun.
Let's go. Love it. Welcome in.
Moon's the best.
Hot take: Justin Reed is the best kicker in the league.
Probably not even a hot take. I don't see how that's not true. Chris, do you know who Justin Reed is?
Justin Reed, is he a kicker?
He's not.
Oh,
he's not.
I don't know.
He's the safety that the Chiefs signed this offseason from the Houston Texans. But he made like a 60-plus yarder in practice.
Did he?
Kicked an extra point in the preseason. They let him kick an extra point in the preseason. Nailed it right through the uprights, like literally right down the middle.
That shows you how much I paid attention to Chiefs preseason or any preseason. I haven't watched any Broncos preseason because they're not playing starters, Scotty.
What? They're not playing starters?
Packers aren't playing starters. The Rams aren't playing starters. There's a lot of teams not playing starters. It's weird. Let's see what else do we.
I feel like the lighting's not good enough to show the beard. I feel like if the lighting was better, you guys would see it.
Maybe an up spotlight or a down spotlight or something.
Hold on. I'm gonna be right back.
Here we go. Scotty's getting something all tailored up over here. We'll see what he has in store brewing for us. Cowboys have their new kicker for the season. Welcome to Dallas, Brett Mayer. Maurer? I got an AJ Brown jersey from the stadium after my tour. Nice. Mute him before he returns.
Don't worry about it, guys. Give me a second.
Oh, what the problem isn't the lighting, says Andy. Problem isn't the lighting. Hair is looking crispy though. Ooh.
A little brighter now. A little brighter.
Oh.
Just get it real bright. I don't know how bright I can get it, but guys, you got to see this, right? If I get real close, you see it.
There it is. That's hey.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Dumbledore here. Any day now.
So Scotty, it is looking good though. It is looking good.
It's just very blonde, guys. It's very blonde, but it is. All right, it's not good. It's not good. This is going to be a disaster, Chris. I can't lie. It's going to be real bad.
No way you play Santa this coming winter. Maybe you just grow it out. It's a nice light white color. You play some Santa. You make some extra money during the holidays.
I mean, Mackie brings it. He's like, hair's looking crispy though on the top of the head.
Yeah.
Which this was more a point to health. Like I can't make a bet where I get rid of this. This is the moneymaker up here.
It's true.
This is the gold mine. Yeah. All right. This hair is all I got, right, Andy? This is it.
There you go.
Otherwise, I look terrible.
Cuban, what's going on? Oh, never mind. I thought that was Santa Claus, but nope. Bearded Scotty. See? It's Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I didn't even see that comment, and then all of a sudden I look back and we got some more Santa stuff going on. And that $1 million smile. Yeah.
Thanks, Sandy. Now I feel weird about smiling. So thanks a lot.
All right.
Not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah. I was thinking about should I grow the beard out with you? Like I'll trim the sides maybe, but like grow it out a little bit longer. I've done that before. I've done that a couple times in the past.
Do you want some support? The world is your oyster. I'm just sitting here having to sing on air, having to grow beards for subs, and you're just doing whatever, Chris. Just living your best life as I make an ass of myself all the time on this stream.
Diaco's like, no, and Rex like, yes. Grow the beard. Oh man, we got a big show for you guys tonight. While everyone's trickling in, let's get to all of our just PSAs. We got to get our PSAs. We got to pay the bills. How many bills do we have, Scotty?
I don't think we have any bills.
We don't have any bills. We just have all the stuff that we get from our subs that we create into free prizes for you guys and all the cool things that you guys do. So by the way, a way to support the channel. If you guys, I mentioned podcast earlier. If you guys miss the show, or if you guys have to dip out earlier, if you show up later and you missed it, don't worry about it, because guess what? You can find all of our shows on YouTube and all of our podcast platforms. You can go search Amazon, Spotify, Apple, you name it. It's on all of them. Go check those out. You won't regret it if you miss a show.
Mackie, did you check out the TikTok today, Mackie? It was a good one. It was a tribute to you, buddy.
Mackie, you were a highlight in our TikTok. So, there's that. So make sure you go check that out. If you haven't already, click the TikTok link in the chat right now, because it is right there for you guys. All of our socials are there. That's another way to support the channel or support us in growing, is going to follow us on all of our social platforms and making sure that, you're following us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the good things. All right. So podcasts, socials, got that on lockdown. Now, to support our channel while we're live, you can always give us a Twitch Prime sub or subscribe to the channel. Those Twitch Prime subs are free. You can do it once a month. You just link your Twitch and your Amazon Prime, and all you got to do is subscribe to one channel, your favorite channel on Twitch, for free, and hopefully that's us. So give us that, get free Twitch Prime sub, and you get access to all sorts of cool things when it comes to our emotes and some of the ads being taken away and all those cool things there. So make sure that that's a part of your deal. Also, exclamation point contest. Rec, I think you've known about that one, but exclamation point contest hooks you up with something we're going to be talking a lot about tonight, and that is our Survivor and our Pick'em leagues. So we already have our fantasy leagues all locked in, but don't worry if you missed out on those. These are your chance to get in and compete with Scotty and myself and all the other lab rats that we have in our chat each and every week when it comes to your Survivor and how long you can last, and your pick'ems, and see how much you know when it comes to picking games each and every week. So we'll have standings, and we're going to have prizes for each of those contests, and it's free to enter. It says password lab rats with a capital L, but people have been saying that you don't need a password.
You don't even need it. No.
Who knows? Who knows?
I feel like these contests are going to be a lot like our playoff fantasy contest, Chris, where I finish first and get nothing for it, and we just move on to second place, which is fine. Because, listen, I mean, it's hard to beat the GOAT. It's hard. What's up, football wife?
Hey,
how you
football
doing?
wife. It'll be easy to beat Scotty. He's gonna pick KC to go 17-0 and Denver to go 0-17. I know. Yeah, it's true.
I won't do either of those things. I'm not crazy. Probably 15-2 and 2-15. I'm not crazy, Rec. Right?
Rec. The countdown is on the next scene here coming up. So we're gonna hit that here soon. Yeah, just over 14 days. I mean, we're 14 plus days. That's right.
Less than 15.
Milwaukee's best. Welcome in. How we doing?
What's up, Milwaukee?
He's excited about his Packers, ready to go. Rex, all about his. I mean, Steelers. Everyone's got high hopes right now. It's fantastic.
All of a sudden, Kenny Small Hands Pickett is like the greatest thing ever. All of a sudden,
he's been blowing up.
Where to me, I've watched a little bit of it, and he just looks like Ben Roethlisberger in disguise. If Ben Roethlisberger lost a lot of weight,
I mean,
dude just dumps it off in the flat and whatever. It is fine. It's fine. It's fine. He's played well. He has played well.
Can you see his hands on the HD? On you have a big TV. Can you see his hands on that?
I have an 86-inch TV. Not to gloat, but just to give a reference point to what I'm doing here. Even if I pause it and zoom in, I can't see the man's hands. It's like he's throwing from nothing. I don't even know if he has a hand. That's how small they are. Which is a miracle. Good for Kenny Pickett.
Oh, poor Kenny. So let's go ahead. Also, other ways to support the channel. You can always send in bits and attach a message to it, so that way we can all hold on to your butts. We can all hear your messages coming through, so that you guys can, share those with everybody in the community. So that's always a fun way to get involved in the chat. And then finally, just following and being active in the chat is a way to get in and make us very happy people, because we like to get to know you guys. We like to talk sports. We like to hear your opinions and all of your insights for your teams, so that we can have a lot of fun and make this stream even more entertaining for everybody to join in. So there you go. Anything else that I missed, Scotty? I feel like I'm getting faster and faster at running through all of that.
I mean, I felt like you did a great job. And no, I'm not going to say you missed anything. And if you did, I wouldn't know. So
there we go. All right, fair enough. I will take that. All right, Chippo the Hippo. Looks like maybe Chippo was trying to do some bits there. So thank you if you were. Kenny Shaquem Griffin Pickett, according to Scotty.
Yeah, Shaq Griffin. I mean, that's basically. I zoom in, guys. There's no hand there. There's no hand. It's just like it's almost like a nub. I don't know. With fingers. It's a nub with fingers, Chris.
Yep.
Bizarre.
It's I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
All right. So we got a big show for you guys tonight. As mentioned, we have some top stories we're going to hit you with right off the bat. Actually, you know what? Can we dive into our social media real quick before we dive into that? I don't know. There's some social media stuff out there that's going to lend itself to some of the other things, maybe. Or do we want to save that for later?
I mean, last time I checked, we're in charge of the show, Chris. So we do what we want.
I know.
AKA you do what you want, because I don't know how to transition the show at all. So I'm going to say yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start out. Let's break in. Let's get into some social media here. And we have a couple things for you that we want to just show you that just kind of crossed the social media barrier here and kind of caught our attention this week. So let's hit up our trusty Action Lab cell phone. Oh, man. That's a nice looking cell phone, right? I like that.
It's just bizarre because you say put the phone down, Chris.
I say put the phone down, but then when you get back to the show, when we're live, you can watch us on your phone all night long. I'll just say that right there. All right. So first thing that I wanted to bring up is
real quick. Are those Kenny Pickett's? Is that Kenny Pickett's hand?
No, no shot. Kenny Pickett's hand would only take
Smaller.
up the bottom corner of the phone. It's like.
Yeah, but this might be an iPhone mini, one of those mini ones.
Yeah, no. This is way too big. This phone is way too small for Kenny Pickett's hands here. I mean, those are big hands there. First off, we had this guy. Have you? This guy has been making the rounds. If you guys haven't seen this guy.
Oh my goodness.
We talk a lot of food on this show.
Just watch.
Would you? All right. Let me throw this in the chat. Maybe this is a poll in the chat. Would you ever turn your hot dog into a straw? So, with this being said, this gentleman here it looks like this is the Yankees Mets Subway Series. And this gentleman here, like no one's around. It's not like he's trying to prove anything to anybody. It's not like he's trying to say, "Hey, This is like a funny thing. I'm joking about this." This guy's dead serious on his own, doing this by himself, sticking a straw through a hot dog, making sure there's enough flow, grabbing his beer, and drinking. Like, what is this? He's drinking out of a sandwich, says Reckoning. Like,
touche, right? Is he with someone else? It's almost like he's turned to the side, though, because he's like hiding it, like he's embarrassed of it. He literally takes a straw. So he has a straw, Chris. It's not a question of whether you have a straw. He's taking the straw and just putting a hole in the middle of that hot dog.
He could have just
used the straw. Chris, I literally go ahead, Chris.
I just don't know what to think about this because, like, there's innovation. There's a lot of things you can do with food that maybe, people haven't thought of. Like, the hot dog makes the beer taste like trash, right? At what point do you drink the beer? Or I guess you drink the beer through
he's drinking the
straw,
beer through
but
the hot dog, Chris.
But, I guess the question is, what point do you eat the hot dog?
Actually, as I'm looking at this more and more, check out the beer. As he puts in the beer, check it out. Is that a beer? Yeah. At one point, it was so yellow, I thought it was Mountain Dew. I was like, is that Mountain Dew? Because it just looked really, really yellow. This is, you don't know what to think about this, Chris?
I mean,
you're like conflicted.
I'm in disbelief of like, this is real. Like, this is like bizarro world for me. I just don't understand why anyone would want, like, how would you think about this? There's a lot of things you can do with a hot dog and a beer. Like, I just have never, ever crossed my mind to create a straw out of a hot dog. Like, that's like, even if you were to say, hey, I want you to do something super creative with a hot dog and a beverage, I would have been like, I don't know where to start. I wouldn't come up with this idea. It would be terrible. I mean,
Chris, I literally on Twitter, it seems like every day on Twitter, you can find every day there's a fight in some sporting stadium, like whether it's baseball, football, wherever, there's a fight almost every day. And then earlier this week, I don't know if you heard about this, Chris, but in Oakland Coliseum, the treasure trove of all stadiums, the shittiest of shitty, there was someone caught. It appeared to be giving.
Oh, I saw this.
Fellatio, Chris. Fellatio.
No.
In the stands, in the corner where no one else was. The next day they had security. And with all that, Chris, with all the fights I've seen this week and all throughout time, and with that scene in Oakland Coliseum, this, without a doubt, is the most obscene thing I've ever seen in a stadium before in my life, Chris. This is awful. This man should be escorted out. He should be arrested. He should be. I don't know about like death penalty might be excessive, but life sentence. A life sentence in jail for this man.
At least a ban from the stadium. A ban.
What the hell are you doing? Why, Chris? Why? Hot dogs are good. Buns are good. Beer is good. First of all, who even drinks beer out of a straw in the first place? But to then move it through a hot dog? To move it through a hot dog, this man should be sequestered. He should be in solitary confinement. No one should be able to speak to him, know him, discuss with him what is going through his mind at this point. That's the most obscene thing I've literally seen at a ballpark or stadium in my entire life. And I like, you are kind of you're more neutral on this. Chris, I'm out of my mind right now.
Get him out. We need to just get him out.
This man, get him the hell out of there, because this is a disgrace. A disgrace.
I guess you know what irks me a little bit more than anything else is the beer absorbing the juices from the hot dog on the way through the straw.
Right. I think that's his idea. Like, does that improve things?
Oh man. It's bad. It's bad. Let's get to the chat here.
Andy's saying, dude, I've witnessed that at a Texans game on God, bro. So this is not a solo act. There are other terrorists in our country drinking beer out of a hot dog straw, Chris. And I call them terrorists, and I don't use that word lightly. I do not.
Cuban.
Because each of them need to be found. FBI, border control, like whoever needs to get involved here. DEA, this is a drug, maybe. I don't know. Is this like purple drink that I don't understand?
Get them
they
in there.
They all need to be arrested. They all need to be arrested. But if I had to pick one other place, one other state in the country where this has happened outside of here, Andy, I would have picked Texas. That makes a lot of... In fact, Houston specifically.
Oh, ridiculous. The sausage would probably taste better after, said Cuban.
Why wouldn't you go brat? Wouldn't, like... Because, there's beer brats out there. Maybe, if you're gonna go this route, maybe go bratwurst over a hot dog?
H-Town. Hey, it's better than watching the A's.
No. Hey, well... The scene at the A's the other game.
The other thing was just...
Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone involved.
Saw a dude get a BJ at a Texans game. I don't even think he drank from it. Yeah, I mean, how do I... Can you...
Andy, Do you keep going to Texans game? You watch people drink beer out of a hot dog straw and get a BJ, and you're like, I should probably go back. Or was that? Oh, that was literally that was Watson on the sideline a couple years ago. Never mind.
Oh no. Let's see what else. I think we finally found John Doe number 2. The beer level didn't lower.
I mean, I think he's not getting a lot. I would imagine.
I don't think he's hollowed it out enough
here. I would imagine you got to suck real hard to get a lot of beer out of there. A lot of sucking. Like, I don't even know.
No.
Then the hot dog's even gonna just soak up some of it, so you got to suck harder, Chris. You got to suck even harder.
I mean, is this a solo situation that we had in Oakland Coliseum? Is this like come on, man?
Is this his reinterpretation of it?
Maybe
this is the reinterpretation.
Bruh. Come on, man. We're off the rails here. Whew.
You do, Rec. You got to suck real hard, I would imagine.
Man.
And then you got to suck even harder. You're right.
It's a trap.
Jeez Louise here, man. All right, cool. Let's get this guy off the screen because this is way too much. Next,
I'll drink to that.
Also, he was wearing a plaid Yankees hat. So, I mean, so many things wrong with that scene.
Oh yeah, it wasn't great. Next up, let me see, or not. Let me see. I don't even think I have another one here.
Well, that's a nice column.
There you go.
That's a lovely column.
Yeah. No, this is us waiting in line for a game that no one went to.
I was gonna say there's no line.
We came in on the off day, pretty much.
Someone's taking a picture of that, wondering if that could be used as a straw to drink their beer, Chris.
Well, here, hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I got. Oh wait. I think I have something here.
Rec has an idea while you're doing this, Chris. Next bet: loser has to drink their whole alcoholic drink on stream through a hot dog. I'll do it if we get some subs for it.
Oh, there it is.
I'll sell my soul to the subs, Chris. Chris is like, I'm not here for that. Which I will also do it because if it's Chris and I betting, I will win. I will win that bet.
All right, here we go. All right, here we are. We have insights into Rich Kleiman showing KD. He still had 4 years left on the contract he just signed. Oh, see, KD's like, I didn't know. See, he's like, I totally slipped my mind. Totally forgot that was a whole thing. Like, contracts are real things, and he signed it. Oh, yeah. And then down below, recap of Durant's trade demand playing out. Wait for it. Trade demand sent. Right back in the face. So, we'll talk a little bit about this coming up here. Man, that's gotta hurt. Can you take a watermelon to the face with that velocity? Oof. That's gotta. I mean,
damn. It's not good. I think it hit knee, chest, face there, Chris. If you look closely, might have just gone to the face, actually. Not a great face in general anyway, so we're fine. We're fine.
So here's KD, again, just realizing and backfiring all at once here. So there you go. We'll talk about that here in a few. But let's dive into some of our top stories of the evening. And then let's get on to, again, we have top stories. We have some sleepers. We have some busts. We have some strategies for you guys for fantasy football. We'll share those. Because we got Fantasy Football League coming up, right? We want to make sure you guys have some insights, but not too many insights.
Big one tomorrow, so I feel real weird about this segment, Chris.
Yeah. So big one tomorrow, and then we have another one coming up on the 29th. So make sure you guys...
Monday
the 29th. So make sure you guys are there for that as well, if you guys are in those leagues. And then we're going to be doing some insights on some Survivor tips and tricks. So let's go ahead. and dive into our first story of the night. And there we go. By the way, 14 days, 18 hours, 2 minutes, and 2 seconds before football is back. So we are a little over 2 weeks away. But we wanted to get started out here with some college news. Now, Hooters restaurant. Speaking of NIL, we've been talking about NIL deals over the last couple shows, right, Scotty? Kind of like popped up here and there. We've been kind of getting a little bit of, the vibe that, some players taking advantage of the system, some players benefiting from the system, and some, just how the NIL is unfolding here. Well, restaurant chain Hooters announced on Monday that it has signed 51 college football offensive linemen specifically, not wide receivers, not quarterbacks, not defensive backs, not anybody else, offensive linemen to name, image, and likeness deals, NIL deals. So with that being said, they're working with players from Auburn, LSU, Oklahoma, Miami, Georgia Tech, Missouri, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Florida Atlantic, and USF. So, for decades, quote, "For decades, the physical play, blue-collar mentality, and on-field leadership of the offensive lineman has shined. But national praise and attention for those crucial players has all too often been sidelined," Hooters Chief of Marketing Officer Bruce Scala said in a press release. "We want to change that narrative and celebrate the elite student athletes who play a pivotal role in making college football so thrilling to give them their fair share of the spotlight." Scotty, we're finally celebrating the greatness and the excellence of offensive linemen because they never get the spotlight, and we're doing it with Hooters NIL deals.
I applaud Hooters beyond belief for this deal. Let's be honest, though. Hooters has basically been in an NIL deal before the NIL deals with equivalent individuals that are offensive linemen in the world. What I mean by that is, let's be honest. Everything you just described there, which was for decades, the physical play, blue collar mentality. Let's focus on that.
Yep.
All right, let's focus on the blue collar. The people that go to Hooters are blue collar males, right?
Yep.
Who just want to shine for a little while. Even if it's not real, Chris. Even if it's not real and it's fake, all to just get a tip from these lovely waitresses at Hooters. They're there to shine. And now Hooters, everyone who goes to Hooters has to be over the moon that they're giving it to the I say little guy when it's an offensive lineman, but you know what I mean? The guy that's not, doesn't get the notoriety that he deserves and underdeserved, and the big uglies and whatever. And that makes me feel like Hooters is my home. It's a perfect fit, Chris. Hooters is genius for this. Just like when they signed John Daly's son a couple months ago, Hooters NIL deals make perfect sense. Their marketing campaign, who's ever in charge, kudos to you, because you are literally catering to your audience, which is just literally, honestly, gentlemen that just want to believe that they too can be loved, Chris.
Hey, there we Valor, go. Let's go.
Coming in with
Valor.
Another 5 gifted subs. Did this on Sunday as well. Thank you so much, Valor.
We got to say hi to Monkey for him, though. Say hi to Monkey for me. Hey, what's up, Monkey?
I don't know if Monkey's here, but hi, Monkey.
Valor, thank you so much for the gifted subs. Let's go ahead and, hey, congratulations to SS3, Belly, I'm Not Chris, 2K, Durandum, and Chippo the Hippo. Let's go.
Congrats for not being Chris, by the way. Whoever that is.
I'm not Chris, 2K.
Yeah, wouldn't want to associate with that either.
Don't want to. Yeah, you don't want none of this.
Hard pass.
Valor, by the way, Reckoning Valor, post your link to your channel in our chat here so that people can go in and join and check you guys out, because you guys crush over there. Go ahead. They're on YouTube. They're all Action Lab Rat family, and we want to support them a ton. So go ahead and go give them some love. Thank you, Valor. But yeah, going back to this, I think it's a great thing too. I just think, like, again, there was so much to like about the fact that you always hear about the stars. You always hear about the big names, the quarterbacks, the big name receivers, or, you know, all these people that are in these NIL deals and part of these major schools. Give these guys some love, man. Like they need some love too, and I really appreciate the way that they're going about it. And it's made national news, right? I mean, Hooters is getting a lot of publicity out of this too. So they know what they're doing. It's kind of a win-win for everybody. The players get a little bit of money. They get a, you know, deal with the Hooters thing, and then they also get you know, some FaceTime here. They get their names in the news.
Hopefully they didn't offer free wings for life, because that would be a losing cause for Hooters. That would be the only mistake Hooters could make in this. Can you, like, what makes more sense? Giving 50 offensive linemen across the nation NIL deals that everyone hears about and is with their local teams, or giving like their top 2 quarterbacks NIL deals with Hooters? That there are people who are like, the people that go to Hooters are like, oh, that pretty boy got it. Like, he doesn't need more money. That's literally I don't know. I haven't been to Hooters in a long time, Chris. Nothing wrong with Hooters, just haven't been to one in a long time. I bet I'd enjoy it, to be honest. Love you, wife.
Maybe.
But I'd like the wings. I'd like the wings, of course.
But they got they got the difference between the breaded wings and then they have like the naked wings, and because they're known for their breaded wings, which,
how do you feel about breaded wings?
it's like fried chicken to me.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
It's like too much like fried chicken, where I'm just like, I would just get fried chicken if I wanted breaded wings. Like, it's not my jam. I like a traditional wing. That's it. But hey, I like the breading and I like the taste of them. I just don't.
I will eat all of it, Chris.
Yeah.
Andy,
yeah.
Scott is more of a Twin Peaks kind of guy. Yeah, I'm classy like that. Reckoning, welcome to Action Lab, perverted edition. Is it perverted?
Roger.
Well, remember when we first started this stream and we would talk about strip clubs and James Harden like every single week? We would somehow work its way into our show,
or just strip clubs in general, and a lot of times with James Harden involved.
And then it's slowly tailored off to like not talking about any of that, and then now we're getting into drinking from straws and things happening at the top of stadiums and Hooters, and like, hey, you know, like that. I mean, the sports world is starting to close in on itself with all of these topics. It's not our fault. This is stuff happening in the sports world. We just happen to pull these specific things, I guess.
JK had a great start. He said no to breaded wings and hell no to ranch with wings. I don't know what you mean. I think you misspelled blue cheese, actually, when you said ranch. Cuban Benny, Dandy Dan's has a great breakfast buffet. See, that's why I go to some of those places. It's about the food, Chris. It's not about the atmosphere and environment and then almost naked or completely naked, depending on where you're going, females. It is the food.
Yeah. It's not about, like, they have TVs there. We can watch the games. The games are on.
Yeah, I'm only watching the games, Chris.
I will say about the logo for Hooters, it's like the creepiest looking, like I get what they're doing with the double O, but then I also get what they're doing with the double O, and I like it. It is weird, and it makes you feel uncomfortable. If you look at that, don't look the Hooters in the eye. Don't do it. Because you're going to get super uncomfortable. Like, when I was putting these graphics together, I had to stop looking at it, man. It was creeping me out. I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just realized there were offensive linemen in this photo, Chris. I didn't even know. I only saw the 2 Hooters girls. Come on. Man. I didn't even notice until now. Good for those guys. For making the shot. Damn, I missed it.
Oh no. Well, there's more than 2 people in this. There's more than 2 people in this photo there, Scotty.
Andy, when Mackie and I come out to Colorado, can we live stream from Hooters? Ironically, there is a Hooters probably 5 minutes from my house. I've never been to this Hooters. It used to be a TGI Fridays, actually. I've been to the TGI Fridays. It moved to a Hooters like 5 years ago. Haven't been, but it's only five minutes away, Andy. So let's do it. Let's stream from Hooters.
I mean,
you and Mackie can.
Maybe
a dual stream.
Maybe we get a sponsorship.
A mega stream.
Do they do NIL deals for streams?
Oh, I don't think it has to be an NIL deal at that point, Chris. They could just pay us.
They could just pay us. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Let's just get sponsored by them. There you go. I just heard you say yes.
I did say yes. So wins the flight.
All right. Next up on the docket, we have an interesting turn of events. Oh man. Milwaukee's no Hooters in Milwaukee or Chicago. I'm missing out. Yeah. I mean,
maybe. I don't. Sure.
I haven't been to a Hooters in like probably 10 years.
But Chris, you love wings.
I do love wings. I don't like breaded wings though, and that's what they're known for. I mean, I guess I can get their regular wings.
I can get. I mean, they have regular.
Thank you, Chris, for this much detail. Oh no, I'll take a look at that clip here in a minute.
Ooh, I'm excited. I don't even know what it says.
I can't wait for that. Brooklyn Nets and Kevin Durant have met and agreed to move forward together after the trade demands that have been going back and forth. So Kevin Durant stayed in Brooklyn, according from a statement from the Nets general manager, Sean Marks. But what's up? I'm not Chris Duque. Welcome in. How you doing? Steve Nash and I got together, quote, says Joe Tsai, and met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman in Los Angeles. So they flew out, met up with KD. He's chilling, you know. We have agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focused on basketball with one collaborative goal in mind: building a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn. There's so much BS around all of this. Like, Scotty, like we remember that one time we did a BS meter and we were saying, you know, total BS, some BS, like BS meter was like breaking. It was going out of control. There's so much BS around all this. Like, KD, there's no way he just all of a sudden is like the happiest guy and is just like, yeah, no, let's run it back. Let's do this. He realized that he has zero, like after signing that big contract, he cannot figure out a way to get out of this. There's no teams that can trade for him easily. There's no way that they can move around and make things happen for him. He's stuck. He's not going to be able to get out of there. And he saw the writing on the wall pretty much. So they are going to be going into the season. And the first thoughts I had on this was, is this team going to be good? Like, they brought back, so they have Ben Simmons, obviously, you know, they have Kyrie Irving, they have like star players, but that's still like, this just doesn't go away overnight. The feelings that KD had for the front office, the feelings he had, like, get rid of the coach, Steve Nash, I mean, that just doesn't go away. Like that, like that's gonna linger. By the way, speaking of like how they're gonna perform this year, according to Caesar Sportsbook, the Nets' odds to win the NBA championship moved from 18-1 to 9-1. The Nets announced Durant after they announced he would stay. So the 9-1 odds pushed Brooklyn ahead of the Lakers, the Celtics, the Warriors, the Suns, the Clippers, and the Bucks. Like, that's the like. You want to talk about throwing money away?
In front of the Bucks?
Yeah.
And the Clips?
I
mean, I don't even know. Did you mention the Lakers in there? Because I don't even know why they're involved in that.
They push it. No. Sorry, I misspoke. I think I misspoke. Maybe I misspoke. They're ahead of the Lakers for the fourth best odds to win the title, behind the Celtics, Warriors, Suns, Clippers, Bucks.
Okay. Didn't hear Nuggets in there. That's weird.
Yeah, that's because that's the best kept secret. I want those odds to stay, and so I could win more money on that.
Real quick, before I dive into this, Chris, Rex says, I think Scotty wanted a sub bomb so he could drink his next drink through a hot dog. Isn't that right, Scott?
Oh, no. Don't.
You're right, Rec. You're right. So, challenge accepted.
Oh, no.
I will I will. If we get 15 more subs tonight, from this point forward, tonight on our next stream on Sunday,
don't do it.
I will drink. I will try this hot dog beer straw thing, guys.
Do this.
I'll do it for 15 more subs. Guys. I will literally cook up a hot dog, and I will poke a straw in it. I'll poke a hole, and I will drink. To the best of my ability, I will drink the entire beer through that.
Keep your money in your pockets. Keep your cards in your pockets. You don't need to do this. We don't need to see this on the Action Lab.
Wow.
We're good.
Chris is against subs. Unbelievable. You just went on a whole spiel about subs, and now you don't want subs.
Oh, no.
And here we go, Chris. Andy coming through with 5. Thank you. Oh boy.
I want it. I need it. So, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Yes. You will on stream hollow out with a straw.
I will do it all on stream. So I won't. I will cook the hot dog before. I will pour the beer before, and then I will get a straw. And I might get another tool because I don't think a straw is going to work great. I don't even know how he did that. I feel like I'm going to need a sharper object to poke a hole in that hot dog, Chris. Andy, a 16-ounce beer. Sure. Why not?
Andy, thank you for the gifted subs. Tier 1 sub to 218. Big number there. 21817, blah, blah, blah. St. Louis Cardinals, Elacola, Unknown 2324, and Miz. What's good? Thank you so much.
I'll drink to that.
Milwaukee's like, I want to see you drink it tonight. I don't have a hot dog. I don't have a hot dog on me.
All right. Well, we still have till the end of the show. The minute the end of the show hits, that's it. So,
Milwaukee, we have our draft Monday. I may still be sick if I watch this. So, maybe, or maybe it'll be the greatest live Twitch stream we've ever witnessed, guys. We won't know unless we get 10 more subs. All right. On to the Nets and Kevin Durant. Let's break down the offense or the offseason for Kevin Durant, Chris.
Let's do it.
Kevin Durant starts this offseason. He's like, I'm the greatest. I am literally God's gift to basketball. I can do whatever I want. I'd like a trade. Nets say, no. He's like, all right. Well, if you're not going to trade me, I would like the coach and GM to be fired.
Yep.
Nets say, no. KD's like, all right, maybe I'll just retire then. And Nets are like, no, you're not going to do that either. No. And now, where did we fall, Chris? KD's like, all right, I'll play for you guys this year, and I'm excited about it. And Nets are like, okay, cool. That's literally what happened. It was like, this is so embarrassing for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's like, I demand a trade. I'm a great player, and every great player gets a trade when he demands it. And he didn't get the trade. Then he demanded that the coach and GM get fired. Neither did. Then he's like, I might retire. And they're like, well, no, you're not going to do that. And then all of a sudden, guess what? We're going to all play nice this year. The Nets did a great job. The Nets, honestly, I mean, listen, they still have to deal with literally having KD, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons on their roster this year. That's a whole shitstorm of like the fact that Steve Nash deserves a raise if he can get this to work out well. Oh boy!
Joe recently went on the Dolly Parton diet. It really made Jolene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was one of my favorite. Even for one bit, it was worth it.
Oh,
it
was so good.
I love it.
P3, welcome in. How you doing? That was incredible. Oh my goodness. And Diacola, let's go.
With 5 gifted subs. So that puts us to 10, Chris. 5 plus 5 is in fact 10.
All right.
So for me to suck beer out of a hot dog, we only need 5 more subs for Sunday to be the most anticipated stream in the history of Twitch, Chris. Only 5 more subs. This seems like an easy thing to do.
Andy and Diacola have done the heavy lifting, guys.
Yep.
So, guys, if you're right there, hey, this is your shot.
I mean, just even subbing yourself if you're not a sub seems like common sense here.
By the way, Diacola, thank you for gifting out to Hawk, to Joel, to Evan, to Berkey, and to Parker. Thank you so much, Diacola. Appreciate all the love. What's up?
Incredible.
What's up, homies? P3. Welcome
P3 coming in with Jolene.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We're 90% of the way there. Check my math on that, says Andy.
Andy, you know that math is wrong, and I know you know because you're an engine nerd.
Might want to update that sub goal. Let's update the sub goal. We are at 50. Let's go.
115?
This is the highest sub count we've ever had in our lives, by the way. This is the highest. We're trailblazing new heights when it comes to all of these.
And to think we're only 5 away from me embarrassing myself on the next stream, sucking beer out of a hot dog, Chris. Chris, I can't wait for you to jump in on this to do things on stream. I am literally doing all of this, all the heavy lifting.
I put the show together, but that doesn't mean I need to. I just haven't come across something that really has
Sure.
I mean, I'm in for something, but
are you?
I am.
I mean, you kind of were in when you put on that ugly jersey tonight, but no one has done any gifted subs through that. So
don't even worry about that. This is.
I mean,
this is like this.
Guys, let's help out a man in need here and gift a sub for. He literally spent apparently over $100 on that. Well, by mistake, I would imagine.
I think I underpaid. I think I should have probably paid a ton more.
Yeah. Why would you not get that jersey when you could have had Micah Parsons on your team instead? Right, Andy? Am I right?
Andy, we need like a live waxing, 40-year-old virgin style. Oh, Kelly Clarkson. Yeah. Let's see. No, I do not want that. So anyways, yeah. So that's where we're at. Thank you for all the support. But that's where we're at with Kevin Durant. Anything else that, I mean, also, it's embarrassing for Kevin Durant, but it's also embarrassing that the teams that he threw out on his list were all like winning teams too. So like even that was like exposed that he only wanted to go to winning franchises, which means he wanted to be like just a piece, not like the guy. And it's just like none of this turned out good for him. None of it. Whether his teams, all of it, it's bad. So there you have it. KD.
Speaking of bad, KD in the playoffs last year when they got swept in the first round, super bad. I don't want to hear from KD ever again.
No,
I hate that. Like I feel like we talk about the worst people more on this stream than we do the best. Unfortunately, like Deshaun Watson and Kevin Durant in their off seasons, especially in the off season of the sport, right? Like in the off season, like the news that comes out is about the worst individuals in these sports. I don't think KD's an awful individual. I just think like he's he's fragile. He's super sensitive. He doesn't have that dog in him. Just like, I'm going to brush this off and I don't care. I don't care. He's more like, I care so much. And I care so much that I'd like to be moved to this great team so I can win a championship because I don't want to not win a championship. And then he won 2 championships and it's not enough. I hate the guy. I hate him.
Is KD one of the most, I mean, obviously LeBron's up there as the most hated player. Is KD starting to get into that category?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is he like, there's no shot that he can't stay out of that, like that top echelon. He's tier 1 at this point, right?
I mean, if you were ranking 5 guys in the league, I'd put most hated. Maybe this is just my list, but I don't care. I put LeBron, KD. I'd put Westbrook. I would put Harden, and I put Ben Simmons.
There you go. That's
pretty good. That's a pretty damn good list right there.
That's a pretty damn good list.
Cuban, Zion Simmons Porter Jr. is at the top of my most loved list. He's gonna have an epic year for the Nugs when they go to win a title this year. Cuban, come on, join me, Cuban.
They'll win the title.
The Nuggies are gonna be damn good this year.
Absolutely.
And MPJ is gonna be a big part of that.
Next up, we have a little bit of money coming in. That money.
Why does this, Chris, when you pick these pictures, why does his face look like it's ready to be just painted as the Joker?
Because
it's a weird face.
It's a weird face. That's Nick Saban's face.
Is it?
That's his face.
Yikes.
Take a drink. Yeah, I'll take a drink to that. Nick Saban is once again the highest paid football coach in public university. And that is because the Alabama Board of Trustees approved a 1-year extension and a raise for Saban during a meeting this past Tuesday. So pretty much a deal runs through February 2030. 2030, and will pay him an average of $11.7 million per year. It's kind of a lot. That raise edges Saban's annual compensation over that of Georgia's coach Kirby Smart, who signed a new deal earlier this offseason that will pay him an average of $11.2 million over 10 years. So we got like a pissing contest going on. Like, I need to make my money. I need to get that extension. And obviously Alabama wants him there. He's been successful. He's been winning. He's always in the football playoff. He's always, they're always going to be in the mix as long as they have Saban, the recruiting, the everything else. It all comes with it, and you're paying for that. So you're just paying a lot. So, Scotty, looks like we have a lot of Nick Saban coming down the pipeline in college football. Alabama's not going anywhere. What do you think about this big payday?
Listen, I think most people agree college coaches in general are making too much money. When you're making $11 million a year, that seems excessive. But I don't think anyone, if you polled 100 random college football fans and you asked them, who do you think the highest paid college football coach is in college football? I would guess over 50% of them would say Nick Saban. It's well deserved in the sense of like he should be the highest paid compensated coach in college football. He's won a ton of national championships. He's been in the playoff every year, to my knowledge, since they started the playoff. He's been in a national championship he's lost. He's literally, since he's been the coach at least the last decade, they've literally been one of the top 4 teams in the country every year. Every single year. And frankly, closer to top 2. So, I mean, I think $11 million is stupid money, but if I could say who deserves to be the highest paid coach, and I'm not saying I love Nick Saban, but I respect him. I respect the hell out of what he's done there. He deserves to be the highest paid coach in college football. Absolutely. And so for him to get it, okay. All right. It's too much money, but that's the reality now, and I'm good with it from that vantage point.
So he's coming off a season. What he wants is he won his 10th SEC title. He's also won 7 national championships, which is the most all time. 78 years old. So he's old. That's the weird thing. He's old. He's old. Andy, I was going to get to this in a second. I saw that he has a clause in his contract that automatically gets a renegotiate contract anytime he falls out of the top 3 highest paid coaches in NCAA. I mean, that's a hell of a clause right there. So that is true. There is a clause in there. He also included in the contract are postseason bonuses: $75,000 for appearing in an SEC championship, or $125,000 for winning it. $200,000 for appearing in the New Year's sixth bowl game, $400,000 for appearing in the national championship semifinal game, $600,000 for appearing in the national championship game, or $800,000 for winning it. So plenty of incentives.
He's winning 400K. But is 400K a big incentive when you're making 11 plus million a year?
I mean, it's a nice chunk, that's for sure. That's
to normal people, that's a great chunk. To him, he's just like, I mean, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it to the playoff every year. They do every year.
So yeah, these are all guarantees for the most part. He makes Alabama $500 million easy, says Milwaukee's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he makes them a ton of money. It's just, it's alarming to see a coach in college football make that much money. Where a lot of NFL coaches don't make anywhere near that.
He's making more than some NBA players.
Let's keep in mind that Nick Saban he went to the NFL and he kind of flamed out, and it was quick. It was a quick flame with the Miami Dolphins back in the day, and it didn't go well. So while I respect these NFL programs and I get it, like you have, so much money coming in based off of like wanting your football program to succeed. So you have everyone that's an alumni being like, I'm going to dump money in, you keep Nick Saban. So that's where that money comes from. But I mean, is Nick Saban a top 10 coach in the NFL? Absolutely not. But he found his niche, respect that, and is rolling with that. Because he wouldn't make that money, and he wouldn't have that lifestyle in the NFL. He wouldn't.
No.
But I will argue, here's the thing that no one talks about between college football coaches and NFL coaches. College football coaches, it's a way harder job, actually.
The recruiting, right?
You have to, it's a year round. You're constantly, in the offseason, you're recruiting nonstop. Then you're coaching. And when you're coaching, by the way, the turnover in college football is way higher than in the NFL, right? Because you have people graduate, you have new guys coming in. Like, it's new people and new situations. And maybe that makes it easier at times because you can coach the same things and it's not lost on them because it's new to them. But the year round, so Andy, my buddy here, his brother, my good buddy, is in college football, and he's like, I mean, it's a year-round gig, and that's the reality of college football. It's not easy because the moment, even when you're in season, you're recruiting. Like, it does not stop. You're either recruiting, or you're coaching, or you're prepping your game plan, or your whole roster for the season. It's a lot.
Cuban. Looks like this pic was taken from his 2 a.m. infomercial selling a book about 99 ways to get government grants. Come on, right before Comics Unleashed with almost Bronco owner Byron Allen. Yeah, it's a weird picture, and that's what kind of why I picked it. It looked nice. It looked nice because this guy
he looks like Jack Nicholson.
He looks like a gopher.
If he was the Joker when Jack Nicholson was the Joker. You just paint his face, and it's like a replica.
He looks like the woodchuck or the gopher. What's the Puxatawny Phil? Maybe, Yeah. He can pull that. Mackie, love the new TikTok, guys. Yeah.
I showed you some love on it for sure.
Yeah, no, go check out the new TikTok, ! Socials. If you haven't checked out the new TikTok, go check it out. It gives us a nice little boost. Make a comment, like it. Those things really help the algorithm when it comes to like boosting some of our stuff. So if you comment and you like and you watch it, you share it, whatever, that's super helpful. There you go. So socials are in there. Thanks, Rec, for putting those in there. I got more TikToks coming this week and the next week. So make sure you guys jump in. And again, help boost those TikToks. We need to get to 1,000. All right. So next up, we have potentially a rival to the new golf league that came out, right? So obviously there's been a lot of stuff going on with the PGA and everything else going on with these other leagues, these golf leagues. But Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, the two best friends that anyone can have, They decide they wanted to launch a tech-infused golf league in partnership with the PGA that will have players competing on 6 3-man teams in 15 regular season matches and a playoff starting in January 2024. So, this new league, called TGL, will feature 2-hour, 18-hole matches on a virtual course. The matches will take place in prime time on Monday nights in a custom-made venue in a yet-to-be-determined location. Renderings released Wednesday by TGL indicate that the venues will feature a simulator that players hit longer shots into, along with an authentic green area for chipping and putting. This is, I mean, when I was reading this, I was like, this is crazy. This is like all sorts. Like, have you seen the mock-ups of this, by the way, Scotty?
I have.
The mock-ups are kind of crazy. So, you know, these two, McIlroy and Woods, are they're besties, right? They've done they played a lot of tournaments together. They've won a lot of tournaments, and you know, they are experienced. They have a lot of money. They want to put this thing together. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on this, Scotty? You're the golf guru here. You know this a lot more than I would.
I'm waiting on an invite. That's how much of a guru I am. I'm waiting for them to ask me, like, "Hey, Scotty, you want to get involved with this?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of busy with the stream and stuff. So anyway, G Girl coming in just damn right off the top. How you doing, G Girl? How was your stream tonight?
Let's get a shout out.
I think Andy also asked how the stream went, or he said great stream, so it must have gone great. Hope it went well. Shout out to G Girl. You guys know and love if you're here often. She's amazing. Provides great sports content on the Twitch spectrum. So if you aren't following G Girl, please do. She's awesome and a lot of fun. So check her out, and she streams all the time, so you won't miss her. She's great at it. Great. This whole thing, Chris, I literally am trying to be like excited about it. So I'm like, oh, this is cool, and the pictures you put together here are nice. Did that ever occur where they were holding the same driver right there, like that picture, Chris, or was that manufactured?
No, these are like legit pictures.
There's no chance that's a real picture.
These are real pictures.
I mean, it's real pictures combined. G Girl coming in hot with 46 viewers.
Let's go.
Unbelievable raid. Thank you so much, G Girl. You are the best.
Let's go. Geek Mill, what's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
How you guys doing?
We're talking about the two best friends real quick before we dive into a lot of
we have a lot of football
fantasy football stuff we're going to talk about in a second.
Yep.
What's going on? That is called a collage. Yeah. I question whether this is real or not. Like, that looks like a wand they're holding on the left there, Chris, like Expelliarmus or something from Harry Potter. Anyway, people are hating on this league because they're like, oh, it's indoors. I'm not paying to watch like people pros like hit into a screen. I want to see them on a real course. I fully understand that argument. I do. But what you're missing on PGA Tour is the access to the player and the commentary from the player. This will be mic'd up. Everyone will be mic'd up. I guarantee it. It hasn't been said, but they'll be mic'd up. You'll get everyone loves when, you have the President's Cup or the Ryder Cup in golf, where it's like a team atmosphere and they're talking trash and they're competitive. And that's what this creates. And everyone's mic'd up and it's just different. I don't know if it'll work, Chris. Maybe it'll flop on its face, but I appreciate them trying something different to compete with the money. It's literally only money on the other side. Liv just has money. That's it. Their ideas are lame. They're not cool. It's not fun. It's just about money. So I appreciate it. Will it work? I don't know. I will watch, and I respect that they're trying. They're trying something different. If it comes to Denver in a stadium, I will go. I will go 100% to check it out and see what it's about. And literally, it's the access and the commentary and the trash talk that'll occur that you don't get on tour, because the PGA Tour is very proper, very don't talk during the backswing, during this and that. Thank you for the follow and the Shaq shimmy,
Billy Badass. That's a nice name there.
That is a nice name.
By the way, guys, again, if you are new, where are you from and who's your team? We like to get to know you guys a little bit. I know some of you guys from G Girl Stream, but in case you guys are new, by the way, my name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the Action Lab. We want to make sure that you guys stick around and get those notifications when we go live every Wednesday and Sunday. So make sure you guys hit that follow button. And then we have a lot in store for you this coming NFL season. We're going to be covering each and every week previews for each week's NFL season. We have our contest. Guys, join in on our contest. Exclamation point contest in the chat. We have our Pick'em League. It's free to enter. And our Survivor League. It's free to enter. Those, if you finish at the top, the more people we have, the more prizes we give out, and it's free. That's it. You just got to join in. So make sure you go ahead and do this. Much love, guys. Billy says, much love from Florida Navy. Boom. There we go. Vet, Packers, Braves, Heat, Florida Gators, college sports. I love it, Billy.
Let's go.
Pick'ems for the win. Let's go. Yeah, get some Action Lab gear. We have hoodies and all sorts of cool things that we're going to be throwing out there. So,
Chris, as someone, I don't think they did this on purpose, but what would be a great idea with this whole event is if somehow you could get enough sponsorship or like somebody calling in or like whatever it entails to have the players take a shot before, like a shot of alcohol before they take their next shot. Like, let's make it interesting.
Oh,
let's put these guys on tilt. Let's make them speak their minds for real, Chris. Let's really dive in. Let's really dive into who these people are. Let's get them good and drunk while they're doing this because it's not, I mean, it's just indoors. It's not like a golf tournament. Like, it's different. So let's get them good and drunk and let's involve alcohol. And I don't know how you make money off that if you're like live streaming it or how you integrate that, but I don't know. Someone hire me to figure that out because I will dive deep into it.
Tortilla slaps before each shot, says Mackie. Or how about drinking, hollowing out a hot dog and drinking out of a cup with
guys? If you just joined us,
oh no.
If you just joined us, and I don't know if you've seen, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the clip of a man at the Mets-Yankees game this week poking with a straw, with a very certifiably legit straw that would work just fine. By the way, you don't drink a beer with a straw regardless, but okay. But no, instead he pokes a hole in his hot dog and he drinks a beer out of his hot dog that he's poked a hole in. Okay. We are, I believe, Chris, 5? Are we 5 subs tonight away from me doing this on the next stream?
So you said if we get 15 subs before the end of the stream,
yeah,
Scotty would hollow out a hot dog with a straw and drink a beer with it this coming Sunday on our stream live. And we have... Oh no! Oh no! There it is.
And people here didn't even know that it literally said this man should be arrested and imprisoned and sequestered and been in solitary confinement for the rest of his life for what he did. And now I have to drink this, Chris.
Oh my goodness.
I have to do it.
Let's go. All right.
I don't know whether to say thank you to Football Wife or how dare you. Can we all agree that people have been here recently where we're doing a lot of like sub challenges? When is Chris going to get involved here?
No. I was just about to tell you.
Okay.
All right. I'm just about to tell you. All right. So let's go back. Let's figure out where we're at. Because right now we're at 120 sub points. If we can get to 125, I will join you on this endeavor.
I don't know how sub points work.
No, it's a sub.
Oh, sub.
If we get 5 more, and we hit more subs, if we hit our goal, I will do it with you. And that we'll test this out together.
We will be both sucking out of a hot dog on stream on Sunday. With just 5 more, guys. 5 more.
Billy Badass. Oh no.
And there we are.
Oh my goodness. So guys, I guess Scotty and I, we hit our goal. Now, I don't know how
I feel like I need a thick hot dog, because otherwise it's hard to poke through the whole thing cleanly, right? Like you need a real wide, solid dog in there, you know?
I'm curious. Someone clip that up. We're gonna make sure that this Sunday, man. All right, we're doing it together. We're doing it together.
And then eat the dog. That's fair, actually. Thank you for the Shaq shimmy there. Sono? Son of. Oh, it was a little dark for me right there.
Son of R4. Son of Rain.
Thank you so much.
Son of Rain. Welcome in. Who's your team and where are you from? I'd like to get to know you. If it was a brat, it would be it wouldn't be that bad. Hey.
That's what I said earlier, actually, Billy. I'm like, why wouldn't he at least use a brat? Like, we've all had beer brats or whatever. That makes a little more sense. But a hot dog is an act of terrorism. We are literally gonna be, Chris, when we do this, football wife, thank you for gifting one to Billy. But Chris, when we do this on Sunday, it would not surprise me, and I don't have any people on the inside, but we're probably on the FBI watch list.
This isn't going to be pretty for anybody.
I mean, it's as I've said on the stream, anyone doing an act of that kind should be on the FBI watch list and be borderline arrested on site.
In case you guys missed it, in case you're
this might be the last stream, Chris.
In case you missed it.
While you replay that, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Code yellow.
Code yellow. Spam it in the chat. Code yellow for Scotty. Make sure you guys that we always spam code yellow anytime we gotta take a break. There we go. Thank you so much for we got a hype train incoming. Let's go. Thank you, Mackie, for the bits. This is what we're referring to, by the way. This is what we will be doing on Sunday. So with this we said like this is ridiculous, and this guy should have been banned from coming to any more games ever. Like this is like the juices of the hot dog mixing with the beer on the way up is what gets me like a little bit concerned about all of this. And I don't have high expectations for how this is going to taste from the beer standpoint. The hot dog has been just like, what is this? I don't know. I feel violated watching. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. This is what's in store for Scotty and myself this coming Sunday. Just so you know. And thank you guys for helping us get to this point. So, hey, it'll be interesting. I've never done anything with Scotty on this before, but we're going to experience this firsthand. Hot dogs don't matter, right? I'm a Nathan's hot dog guy. I feel like we gotta have a choice with the hot dog, right? The brand doesn't matter. The beer doesn't matter. Cheap beer has got to be like, what, Bud Light, Coors Light, something like that. I feel like we'll be all right. I feel Mac, he's in the aisle seat too. Yeah, no, he's right there. He's not hiding from anybody. And that's not the only liquid drank through the week. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? This dude is less discreet than a couple at the A's game. We were talking about that earlier, son, about what happened at the A's game. If you didn't know, there was like a thing happening at the top of the stadium where there was like, there was that whole thing going on. No, we don't want to repeat all the things that happened at the top of that stadium. But this is like a solo version of that. Anyways.
And we're literally, I'm not certain that's not Mountain Dew though, Chris. Are we sure? It's so yellow. Why is the drink so yellow?
Well, And he's just so serious about it. And he's just, okay. Yeah. Like,
and why, again, I brought this up earlier. Why is the man wearing a plaid Yankee hat?
Yeah. That's actually
that in itself is a big problem.
That's
everything
true too.
About this is a concern.
There's
everything about this is wrong. And now we're going to be clipped, Chris, drinking out of hot dogs on Sunday.
This is the kind of guy that I feel like is on those lists in the back of your employee room of like, keep an eye out for this person in case
he would be no longer employed, Chris. This is a fireable offense.
We're going to get this guy off the screen here. And we have a lot to get to tonight. We're going to be talking some fantasy football sleepers and busts.
Chris, real quick. Should we do a drinking challenge? Who can finish their beer first with it?
Oh no. Well, I mean, we have to have if we're doing a competition, we gotta
get more subs.
No. We have to have the same size straws, the same size cups, everything's got to be the same. So just I mean,
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Man,
I know you'd like to cheat, but I play it straight, Chris.
I can't imagine hollowing out like.
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to win that, Chris. To be honest,
I don't think so.
Like, hey, I sucked faster out of a hot dog than you. I'm the greatest.
This stream
doesn't feel great.
This stream is off
saying
the rails.
it out loud.
For all you guys joining, welcome. We're just going off the rails with some weird challenges about drinking hot dogs.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's get back to some baseball news. We have some news with the Los Angeles Angels, who have not had the greatest of luck going into this season. Hold on to your butts. So the Angels this week have mentioned that they are potentially up for sale. Scotty, this kind of just came out of nowhere, kind of surprised a lot of people. Ownership and everything is kind of just trying to figure things out. So, Scotty, what are your thoughts here on the Los Angeles Angels and if they go for sale? I mean, I think they were valued at, $2.2 billion, I think is one of the valuations I saw, which, is a nice little chunk there. We just finished, by the way, the hype train, level 4 hype train. Thank you guys so much for the 11 gifted subs and the 100 biddies. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much.
This, I won't say I wasn't surprised at all, but it wasn't shocking. Listen, you look at this team, the ownership always was kind of, the ownership put money into this team. Obviously, you got Mike Trout there. They dumped a ton of money into Mike Trout. This is why it might be a tough sell, honestly. Like, you have the Dodgers right across. Like, the Angels feel a little bit like the Clippers of the NBA, right? Like, the Dodgers are the penultimate franchise in Los Angeles. You have this other Angels team. You have exciting players, obviously, right now. You have Mike Trout, who, when healthy, is maybe the best position player in the league. You have Ohtani, who is the single, most exciting player in the league, depending on who you ask, between his pitching and hitting ability. So you have a lot of excitement there for someone to then be like, hey, I'm ready to sell. That's almost a red flag. Like, why sell now? Like, they have a lot of problems. They're not the penultimate team there. The stadium is fine, but it's not good enough. They need a new stadium, honestly, or upgrades to it. It doesn't shock me. And the whole Trout thing with his back, like, we don't know if we're ever going to get Trout back. So someone buying this franchise is taking a risk for sure. With a lot of unknown, which is why they're probably ready to sell right now. And by they're looking into selling, I think once you announce you're looking into selling, you're selling. You're selling. You're selling. You're selling the team. So, we'll see what it goes for, and that's the most important thing for me. And I think it'll be an owner that'll dump money into this team, and this team could become a juggernaut potentially based off of that. Because obviously they're in that LA market, which is large enough clearly for two major league teams. easily large enough for 2 major leagues. They have to look up to their big brother with the Dodgers, but at the same time, someone buys it and they win a lot of games, they could surpass the Dodgers or be on an even level with the Dodgers, which is just a juggernaut. By the way, Chris, the 2023 season for Major League Baseball came out today. We're not going to talk about that at a time because I don't know how we talk about that because there's a lot of games. Everyone plays 162, but the schedule for 2023 came out today. We're gonna have the Yankees on a weekend in July in Colorado. That'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
Real quick, we got something in the chat that's kind of caught attention here. Sirius, who's obviously always supporting the channel, wanted to reach out. One of our community members lost her daughter today from a very tragic car accident. Dr. J lost her daughter today, which is absolutely devastating. Dr. J is
oh my goodness,
one of our Action Lab rats, who's absolutely one of our favorite people that pops into our chat, and that is absolutely horrible. I don't even know. Wow.
Serious. Thanks for letting us know. Honestly, Dr. J has been one of our favorite people for a long time, and that honestly is really, really difficult to hear right now. I appreciate you letting us know. Don't take it the wrong way, but that is devastating. I can't imagine. Everyone, send love. If you know Dr. J, Dr. Giovanna,
make sure
that's been in our chat before. Send something to her.
Hey, hey, Sirius, if you're still here, can you DM me after this? I think, that's absolutely devastating. Sirius, if you can link up with me, just shoot me a DM. I think you might be in our Discord, or just shoot me a DM here with the Action Lab. I want to figure out how we could do something for Dr. J from our community. That's I couldn't even imagine. So, thoughts and prayers go to Dr. J.
Honestly, Sirius, send us something. We will. Our community and us for sure will help out any way we can with anything moving forward. That sucks to hear. She's been a ton of fun when she's in the chat. I didn't know her family situation or where she was at with that, or if she had kids or anything like that. But Chris, you and I having kids, the greatest fear in life once you have kids is losing your kids before you,
Yeah.
I literally cannot imagine, and it just brings me so much pain to hear that occurred. So
we'll definitely, all of us are supporting everyone here in the Action Lab. All of our family here at the Action Lab will send love, and we look out for each other, right? We look out for each other. Whenever one of us is having a bad time or having a struggle or going through some things, we're not alone. That we have this community, and we're not. Sports is huge for us. We love sports, and that's what we share, a passion for sports. But we also share a passion for each other too, because we've built a fun community here where we are like a family. So when someone has something happen to them, to any of us, whether it's JK, Milwaukee, Diacola, myself, you, Scotty, Mackie, anybody, those things matter, and they're bigger than sports. So Sirius, yeah, it's my best friend. Yeah, make sure you reach out and connect with me after this. Okay.
Honestly, Sirius, please do, because whatever it is, financially helping out with, funeral arrangements or whatever it may be. I know that's small in the grand scheme of things because that doesn't take away the heartbreak, but any way we can help, I know we would love to help in any way we can.
It's the least we could do,
because that's heartbreaking and that sucks. And we've always honestly enjoyed Dr. J every time she's been in this chat. So,
yep, absolutely. So, all you guys, thank you guys for being supportive in the chat. All you guys, that's what makes you guys the best community. Squand, hey, welcome in. Who else popped in?
We just had a follow that I missed because I was.
Bank Boy, thank you for the follow. Where are you from and who's your team? Like to get to know you, Bank Boy. Thoughts and prayers out indeed. Yeah. So, she loves the Action Lab, Sirius says, and we love her. Absolutely. So, can't wait to connect with you after the show or whenever you can, Sirius. Patriots fan, Bank Boy. All right. Love it. All right. Well, you're going to be good friends with Mackie.
Mackie is the largest Mac Jones fan you'll ever hear, but thanks for letting us know, Sirius.
Absolutely.
I know it brings a different vibe than we normally roll with here, but I appreciate you letting us know. And thoughts and prayers that people are throwing out, and we'll do what we can for her, which is probably not enough because, as I've said, the loss of a child is unimaginable to me. I literally don't know how I'd react to that. I have 3 kids, and I would be devastated.
Yeah,
I honestly, it breaks my heart to hear people having to live through that. It really does.
Well, it's kind of hard to transition off of something so heavy, but the show does go on, and that doesn't take away from what all of our thoughts, everything, they're real, and we want to make sure that you guys know that we support you guys in anything you guys are going through. So but with that being said, thank you, Sirius. Let's dive into sleepers, busts, what we're looking for. Obviously, we're gearing up for some fantasy football leagues coming up here, and we want to make sure you guys, we've already covered a lot of our rankings and tier lists. We've already gone through a lot of what we think is going to be, more of the impact players. But now it's getting into some of the guys that might not have big names or might not have a lot going, on the big scheme of like the radar of your draft leagues, but might either make a difference, or if they're a big time name that might not rise to the top this year and you think they're going to fall on their face, maybe they're a bust. But generally, let's talk about, Scotty, draft strategies first. Let's talk about like what, we've talked about this a little bit last year. We talked about it, about how the wide receivers have kind of taken over drafts now. Back, 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, it was running back right off the top. Now, things were coming off and saying like, people were still valuing the running back position. That's not the case anymore. There's strategies out there that are 0 running back strategies and all wide receiver or tight end or trying to get your position players intact before you dive into, getting into, it's more of a value play, right? Scotty, I know last year you had some tips on like drafting tight ends. I think that was, a big piece that you recommended. What? Hey, Squand. By the way, Squand, we're Packers fans. Oh, nice. There we go. Milwaukee's a Packers fan, obviously, so you'll be right at home. There you go.
You should know we rank the Packers actually as our top defense.
That's
in
right.
The league going into this year.
That's right.
I believe the Packers are going to look a lot different this year. I think they're going to be carried by their defense. I think they're going to still be good, but it's not going to be on Aaron Rodgers' shoulders anymore, and it can't be. I think that offense is going to at times struggle, move the ball a little bit more conservatively, but that defense is very, very good.
Rec, I value running backs in fantasy, don't in actual football. But So yeah, Scotty, what are your thoughts on the running back position drafting? Now, we only had 2 running backs in our top tier, and then it kind of fell off from there. You still have good running backs. It's just the workhorses and what you're getting kind of just turns. It takes a leap down after a handful of guys. So what, from a just drafting standpoint, first round, let's say you're at the top of your, like, how would you draft if you had like a top third, draft pick versus a middle range first round draft pick versus a end of the first round draft pick? What would your strategy be?
This is awkward, Chris, because we literally have drafts with a lot of our followers.
We do.
One tomorrow and one on Monday. So it's awkward in that fashion, but I'm going to be honest here. A lot of it depends on draft position to me. A lot of it does. So when we say that I value wide receivers or tight ends, I do. But running backs are there. There's even after the top 2, that next tier, maybe let's say there's 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 guys in there. And then after that, it's kind of unpredictable. So the reason in fantasy football that people take running backs earlier is because the depth isn't there. Wide receiver, you have depth across the board. It's a passing league. You have a ton of guys that could blow up. You could see what happens. At running back, there's only there's not even a third of the teams that even employ a one running back system. Not most teams, rely on 2-3 running backs in different sets and different scenarios and share carries and all of those things. So, 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case, but now that's the reality. So that's why it's really important to get those running backs early, because you want one of those individuals that gets a lot of touches, whether it's in carries or in the passing game, wherever it may be. You also want to be in a good offense that's going to score points, because touchdowns are huge, right? Wide receiver wise, you have like a top tier of 3, and then you have a secondary tier that's really, really good as well. For me, Chris, it's honestly about where you're picking. I don't want to give away all my strategy necessarily, but depending on where you're picking, you could go, literally, depending on where you're picking, where the board falls, you could be in a spot where you take 2 wide receivers in your first 2 picks, and I wouldn't blame you. And you could take 2 running backs in your first 2 picks, and I wouldn't blame you, based off of where the value is and where your pick falls. It's a super interesting year. And then bringing in the tight ends, I think there's a tier of 3 for sure. We talked about it. If you go back and watch our other stream, if you want to look at our fantasy football tight end streams, but you probably can figure it out. There's 3 that I think separate themselves, and then there's another 3 that are the next tier, and then it kind of falls into a lot of the same. Everything's projections, right? And you never really know. That's the deal. You could make what a lot of people perceive as the worst pick in a round they've ever seen, and it becomes the best pick you made that round or ever.
True.
That's the crazy thing about this. So, do I have an exact strategy based off of you should do this, or this? No, I think a lot depends. For me, Chris, in our 2 leagues, they're 12-team leagues. I literally draft 2nd and 11th. And I'm going to have totally different strategies for those leagues based off of who I'm going to target at those spots, because it's so different on who's going to be available and who makes sense at that spot. So, people may watch me pick tomorrow and be like, "Oh, I figured him out," and I'm like, "It's going to be totally different."
You know what's interesting too is the fact that sometimes you have those. You have the people in the beginning of the draft that love those first picks, but then there's also those questionable picks. You get the Christian McCaffrey type picks where it's you're taking a little bit of a gamble, but it's going to pay off if he stays healthy, right? But he hasn't stayed healthy, so Reckoning is mentioned. Middle picks are the best picks, and I think that there's
maybe
it depends on also how the draft lays out, right? So let's say you have 3 or 4 guys in mind. I mean, you can still probably get a solid pick. I mean, regardless. I mean, even at the bottom of the first round, like, let's say you're at the bottom of the first round, you're a 12th pick, and there's like a Travis Kelce there or something along those lines. Or if there's a guy that you feel really strongly about, that you have a pick between running back or wide receiver, you can have some flexibility. You have a little bit of everything available to you. Like, I always worry about the first picks. I always worry about them because they're always like, guys like in the running back position that can get hurt. We've had Derrick Henry in the first position or top 2 positions that he's gotten hurt. I mean, we've had Christian McCaffrey in the top 2 positions. Wide receivers tend to be a little bit more, have more longevity, but there's not that many running backs. So there's so many factors to take into account here. And I want to know your draft strategies in the chat. Let us know what you guys prefer, what you guys like, who you like, and what you're potentially taking, or well, not, you don't have to share what you're taking, but what your strategies are, if you would like to, because I like to get to know like what other people are doing.
I would like to know what each of you that are in our leagues are doing, actually, specifically.
Not everybody. Rec's not in our league, and he has.
No, Mackey's like, you can change the entire tempo with back-to-back picks because he has the 12th and 13th pick, or he has the 12th pick in our league tomorrow night. So he's gonna have back-to-back picks that'll be wasted because I'm at 11 and 14, and I can't wait for that. I'll be honest, Chris. I'll share something. I had the 2nd pick in our Monday league. I will take the leftovers of Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey, and it won't be a second thought to me.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
whoever Held does not take, I will take that other player, and I won't feel bad about it. Not 1 second.
Yeah. No, I mean that seems fair. And then the running backs kind of drop off a little bit after that. So, when it comes to, your strategies, just keep in mind that, just if one of the strategies I always kind of try to send out to people is like, don't jump on crazy like trains. Like, so let's say a Travis Kelce goes in the 2nd round, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I need to get a tight end quick. And you see like another tight end come off, and you're still coming up, and there's a guy that you really like, be careful about the trains that start with like a tight end or a defense or something early on with some of like random picks that might happen, to not get sucked into those trends. That's the one thing that I always try to recommend, because that always happens, and you always see that list of tight ends in like a round and a half that just go all off the board. And I love seeing that, because that makes me more available to get my wide receivers, to my running backs, my skill positions filled, maybe a quarterback. Now get your, there's some elite quarterbacks out there. You want to make sure that, you're timing those picks correctly as well. Typically, I think quarterbacks are starting to come off the board maybe in the 2nd round in a lot of drafts, from what I've seen from statistics on ESPN and average draft position, ADP. So keep in mind, you can always do mock drafts through these various platforms and kind of get a handle of things. But
yeah, that's why we picked our draft position last show. So hopefully you guys know what slot you're picking at, so you can join some mock drafts and get a feel for like, what available players might be there for your, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, throughout the draft picks. Quite frankly, it may not be the exact thing that occurs, but at least you get if you do a few, you kind of get a feel for where you'd like to head with your draft, whether you want to go running back, wide receiver, quarterback, tight end. Defense is important. Kicker is crucial. Listen, a lot of people are hating on injury prone people. I'm I'll share a philosophy that's probably not shared and doesn't necessarily need to be shared by people. And I think I've shared it before, Chris. My philosophy with people that are hurt, I'm being completely honest here, Mackie, is in fantasy football, I'm not looking to finish in a 12-team league 4th or 5th. I'm not looking to finish 3rd.
You're looking for the home run.
So I'm ready to take the risk on someone that might be injury prone in the past because of what they could be despite that. So a lot of people won't take McCaffrey in the top 5. And I get that. I understand. He hasn't been available the last 2 years. Like, that makes total sense to me why you would avoid that. For me, the if and I understand it's a big if. And it's a big if in the top 2 picks. If he is available, he's gonna boom. If he plays all year, he's gonna be great. Just like Jonathan Taylor. But everyone's like talking about Henry versus McCaffrey. Forgive me, did Henry not miss half of last season? I mean, he just missed half of last season,
and he still had.
And I know McCaffrey and Henry.
He still had crazy
even
stats.
In PPR leagues. So both of ours are PPR. So if you guys are in our leagues, they're PPR leagues. So point per reception. If you don't know, look that up. Henry's not a big pass catching back, but he's a dominant running back. Absolutely. And he was the number 1 back last year before he got hurt. So that could also be a reason to take him. He dominated the league last year, even without catching the ball a lot. He was absolutely insane. And then he got hurt for half the season. So I'm not saying not to pick Henry, but saying, I'm going to take Henry over McCaffrey because of health. Well, Henry just lost the last half of last season. And I know McCaffrey's basically lost the last 2, so I get that, but I don't know. I'm a boomer bust guy.
I'm with you too, though.
I would rather finish. Like, if I finish, there's no difference to me of finishing like 4th versus 12th. Either way, I feel like I just failed, quite frankly.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that like, you want to make sure that you are giving yourself the best opportunity to have like explosive weeks. And these guys that Christian McCaffrey, like any of these guys that like are typically getting hurt a lot, have the potential when they're healthy to have explosive weeks. And I mean, Derrick Henry, all of them. Like, you want to just make sure that you are thinking about that when it comes to, will this guy just be average for me and just get me a solid 15, or can he get me like 30 on those weeks that I really need him to? Can he get me 35 on those weeks that high ceiling versus floor? Like,
if you look at a guy and you're like, I know this player is going to give me more points week to week, but he's injury prone versus this other player, anyone in the league can get injured. You're injury prone until you're not, and you're also not injury prone until you're not. Like, yes, there are some players that tend to get injured more often than others, but I wouldn't rely on that. Like, especially at the running back position, players get hurt all the time at the running back position, and to me, it's random. It's not a sequential thing. It's totally, completely random, in my opinion. So when evaluating those, a Mandalorian, what's up? I always love when a Mandalorian joins us.
Absolutely.
She's one of my favorites.
Absolutely. So, by the way, Diacola in the chat earlier, no idea what the heck I'm doing, and Reckoning was like, funny thing is, a couple years ago, 2 people had no clue what fantasy football was and ended up winning in meeting each other in the final. So there's that. I mean, it's you can't predict that. Don't stress out about it too, because you can't predict if your players that you draft that are always healthy end up coming back and just getting hurt somehow. So it's kind of a roll of the dice regardless. You just don't know, but you can set yourself up for success when it comes to, again, there's opportunities of teams that you will know are going to be playing from behind Like another rule of thumb for me. I know teams that are always playing from behind. I might not like and fade their running backs. I don't like running backs on teams that are constantly. So when you're talking about some of the worst teams in the league, the Jets running backs, I know they have a nice core of like 2 or 3 guys that they like to run. That's another reason maybe why. But keep an eye on those types of trends as well. If you think a team is going to be successful and very good and have a good record at the end of the season, maybe that's because they're throwing the ball and they have a nice balanced attack. They're getting good leads. They could run the ball a little more effectively. You can look at those running backs in those situations. So there's a lot of ways you can think about these games in a different way to maybe prioritize some players over others, right? So keep that in mind as well. Double Doc, Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs when healthy. Sirius in the chat. Scotty, I talked to Dr. J. She said she loves the Action Lab. She said she has a bottle of Super Bowl win from KC for Scotty. So
I mean, I honestly don't know what to say to that outside of we love Dr. J and are here for her with whatever she needs during
tough time.
This time that I can't literally fathom.
It's crazy. And thoughts and prayers again. Like, it's tough. What else do we got in the chat? Let's see. Lawrence is my sleeper. So speaking of Broncos, talking about sleepers, Lamar Jackson, first overall, best running back in the league, says Reckoning. The problem is he doesn't fit into the running back slot. But he's going to be. That's another thing. Keep in mind, running quarterbacks that are good with their feet, and maybe not necessarily like, or quarterback. Yeah, I said quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks who might be good.
Fooled you by saying Lamar Jackson was the best running back in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Just because a quarterback is good in like regular watching the game football doesn't mean that he's going to be as good as some of the other fantasy. I mean, we talked about, Trey Lance being a better fantasy option than maybe some guys that you might watch weekly on the football field based off of like just pocket passing and everything else, because what he can do with his legs. Keep in mind, quarterbacks get a point for running 10 yards, right? Pretty good if you're a running quarterback. So you're getting those points through the air and through the ground. So you're getting value out of those. So running quarterbacks are really good. But let's dive into sleepers, who you like and maybe like might be under the radar. Scotty, let's start with sleepers. Anybody that you like a little bit more that stands out when it comes to guys that you might target in the middle rounds that might surprise people?
I mean, middle rounds is sleepers are defined as wherever. Like, where is a sleeper? Is it middle round? Is it late round?
Middle to late, I would say.
I think mostly you're finding wide receiver sleepers in the middle rounds. I think there's a lot of dudes there. I think you can get like Juju Smith for the Chiefs in the middle rounds. I know I'm a Chiefs fan, so that's easy. There's a lot of wide receivers I think you can get value on in the middle rounds, whether it's, Christian Kirk is going late, and we make fun of Christian Kirk. We do on this stream. But at the same time, he was paid $20 million to play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to throw him the football. That's just a reality. Whether he's good or not, doesn't matter. They're going to throw him the ball to make it look like it was a good signing. I think he's a sleeper. I think Devontae Smith is going too low. Second-year guy in Philadelphia. I know they added A.J. Brown, and you have questions on, the quarterback with Jalen Hurts and whether he can put the ball on people enough. But Devontae Smith, are we failing to realize how good he was in college 2 years ago? Like, that dude is really, really hard to guard. And you add A.J. Brown to that offense, I think that only adds to Devontae Smith's value. I think he's going way too low. You have Dobbs in Green Bay that's just going off. Thank you, Chimichanga. One of my favorite words, by the way, is chimichanga.
General Chimichanga.
In the history of the world.
Who's your team? Where are you from? Like to get to know you a little bit.
Dobbs in Green Bay, everyone's always all of a sudden like he's wide receiver 1. He's going to blow up. Obviously, Pickens is blowing up as a rookie in Pittsburgh on that front. On the running back front, Chris, it's really, really hard for me because I want to pinpoint these guys late. Tomorrow, literally.
I mean, but you have no control over what happens. But yeah,
I have more control over late picks more than like early obvious picks. Then the draft board opens up. There's a few running backs on the younger side of things that I would pinpoint late. I would never, ever, ever, ever. I'll say this: I'll never draft a running back that's old late. When you're drafting a running back late in the draft of your fantasy league, always take upside. Always take upside. Or someone that maybe if their starter gets hurt will just fill in and be dominant. Like I've said before, like an Alex Madison for Minnesota. Love Dalvin Cook. Think he's great. Dalvin Cook's got hurt through the years at times, not excessively, but at times. And Madison's come in and filled in and been almost the same dude, quite frankly. He becomes a top 10 running back play if Dalvin Cook gets hurt. So that's a guy, like if you want to target a guy that late in rounds that like, if you're obviously only playing him if Dalvin Cook gets hurt, but once or if Dalvin Cook gets hurt, he's like, honestly, if I'm taking like a tier 2 running back on a team that won't play a lot and I wouldn't start, but if the starter gets injured, Madison's number 1 for me. Madison is so good and he's underrated. He'd be a starting running back on a lot of teams. And I also think Minnesota's offense is going to blow up this year. You added Kevin O'Connell as head coach coming from the Rams. That's going to be a new fun offense. Maybe the running game doesn't like blow up, but the offense in general is going to move the ball, which allows more TD opportunities for the running back, whether it's in the running game or the passing game. I love people in Minnesota this year in general on offense and fantasy football. I'll say that. How about that?
Well, we were high on them anyway, right? We were already high on that team in general. Mm-hmm. So,
we both picked them to beat the Packers and win that division.
Sorry, squad in Milwaukee. AJ Dillon could be a sleeper in touchdown heavy leagues. Disagree, but Milwaukee disagrees. Is the best number 2 running back in the league. Yeah, I think some of my sleepers. I think James Cook obviously is.
I love James Cook.
James Cook is a nice piece here. So he obviously one of the best receiving backs for the Bills in a PPR league. I think he has a lot of chances to get a lot of big time plays. And I mean, as long as he learns how to pick up blitzes and manage that, I mean, I think he's going to be, he's
going to obviously share a lot of carries. He's not going to get a ton of touches, but everything I've seen preseason from James Cook has been electric.
Yep.
Like it a lot.
Another guy I like based off of like depth. Look at depth when it comes to some of these teams, because that's an important factor too. Joshua Palmer, wide receiver for the Chargers. Palmer could struggle to see, some volume initially, but Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, number 1, number 2. Mike Williams hasn't exactly always been the most consistent player on the field. He's a good player, but then he always has those moments where he's out for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. You don't know where he's coming from, but still, I think Joshua Palmer for the Chargers could come in and can't capitalize on some big time plays when it comes to injuries for some of that. Isaiah Spiller for the Chargers as well. Austin Eckler is the lead back there, but already, has a high workload. When you have players with high workloads, there's that chance for injury. So stashing like an Isaiah Spiller maybe could be nice piece for you if you're looking for, something along those lines. Chris Olave is a guy that I think is not going very high in a lot of leagues. And, people are kind of like low on the Saints, but keep in mind, I mean, I think, Michael Thomas, who knows what's going to happen with Michael Thomas? Obviously, he's coming back from a long stint of not being able to play in the NFL. So the fact that what we're going to see from him, is he going to play full? I mean, that's another piece that, you'll want to keep an eye on, but Olave could benefit from a lot of catches from Jameis Winston. So he's another sleeper that maybe could come up big, that might not go in those first few rounds that would pay off for you. What am I seeing in the chat here? The Ewok is the highest paid running back 2 in football.
People like James Cook a lot in here. Milwaukee loves Najee Harris this year, obviously with Pittsburgh. Football Wife, I love Olave and Sky Moore. You should love Sky Moore. Squan, Travis Etienne could be an interesting selection. I'll be completely honest. I love Etienne. I said when we were previewing running backs, Chris, I love Etienne's upside. I think he's a home run threat. Listen, he literally is a guy that will frustrate you if you watch him. He might get 10 carries that go for 20 yards and you'll be like, this dude can't get it. And then the next one he takes to the house. If you get that man in space, I promise you he's electric. He is the most talented running back potentially in space that we have in the league. That's how high I am on ETN as far as his ability in space. He just needs to get there. Just needs to figure that out. Scotty needs help with pronunciations like Chris. What did I say wrong?
Yeah, I don't think I caught it.
I said James Cook, Olave, Sky Moore, Travis Etienne. Those are all right. What did I do wrong? Damn it. I believe I probably did something wrong. I just don't know what I did.
Another one that is could be a sleeper.
Najee versus Najee. Did I say Najee?
Reckoning's always going to hold us accountable.
But to be fair, that was just because Milwaukee's best put it in is almost Najee. And that's just how I read it after reading his. You're right, though. It is Najee.
Another guy that's interesting is Tyler Algier, running back for the Falcons. Reckoning's going to probably murder me on that too. Obviously the Atlanta Falcons have a high rate of outside zone runs over the last season. They've seen 25 years of zone running schemes. They do a lot in the running game. So with that being said, I feel like he has a chance to get in and, make an impact there. The problem I have with the Atlanta Falcons is what I said earlier is how many times are they going to be playing from behind? Now, even the Atlanta Falcons, through their struggles, have scored points and been able to put points up on the board. Now, just again, take that with a grain of salt. Atlanta, there are teams out there, bad teams that might throw the ball a ton. I prioritize wide receivers on bad teams because they're constantly throwing the ball to get back into the games. But at a certain point, the touches could add up too in some of these cases. But just keep that in mind as well. He could steal a lot of touches from Patterson, says Squan.
I mean, Patterson doesn't even deserve touches, so he could get an opportunity for sure. What excites me, honestly, so rookie quarterbacks, not someone I wouldn't draft a rookie quarterback. This is more just future reference and as far as the league in general, not fantasy football. Chris, and this is not how I felt going into the draft. I was wrong. I am admitting, maybe I'm early because nothing's happened yet, but Desmond Ridder for Atlanta looks so damn good in preseason. He looks precise. He gets the ball out. He throws it more accurate than I could ever believe. Look at the tape on Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder has been the best rookie quarterback in preseason by far, and really, really good in general. Not just a good rookie. A really, really, and I didn't expect that. Obviously, I think Marcus Mariota is going to start this year for Atlanta. I said Arizona for a second. But dude, Desmond Ridder's tape, there's one throw if you watch his film, the highlights on like Twitter or whatever, there's one throw where he literally throws a guy that's behind another guy and he's not open at all. And he avoids the other guy by an inch and puts it in the pocket and the guy catches it. It's insane. This is not a throw you see rookies make. Like, he puts everything on point. Like, he needs to figure out, the system a little more. He needs to be a little smarter. He needs to develop intelligence and look at like packages on defense and know that. But as far as throwing the football, I totally underestimated Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder looks like a legit, very, very good starting quarterback in this league. In my opinion.
Well, I remember telling you like after week 1 preseason, I was like, there was a note there that I saw, also some highlights about Desmond Ridder looking good in that first one, and you were like, oh yeah, whatever, that sounds like. But yeah, like when you do it consistently back to back, and you're putting up some highlight reels,
he looks real. And Football Wife makes a good point. That's because he's from Cincy.
Yep.
Everyone from Cincy comes out great.
Beard looking smooth, Scott. Says Broncos.
Thank you, Broncos.
Saints.
Thank you. I turned on more lights so people could see it.
Saints and Tampa are top 10 Ds. Atlanta, anything is trouble. Says Milwaukee.
I think Atlanta's D is going to be real bad.
Yeah.
And I agree. Saints and Tampa are both top 10 Ds. I agree with that. All of that. I'm not saying like Atlanta is going to be good this year. I think Atlanta is going to be really, really bad. I think they're going to finish as a bottom 5 team for sure. I just think moving forward, Ridder might be much better than I anticipated. And I missed that one. I missed that one beyond belief. I didn't see that.
Sleeping quarterbacks. So we got to get to our also our pick'em. Our survivor tips as well. So I'm just gonna get a couple maybe quarterbacks out here, some sleepers, maybe some busts. We'll start getting to some busts as well, and then we're gonna get into our survivor league, and then we're also gonna be getting into our coming in hot segment. If you guys are new here, again, my name is Chris. This is Scott. We're your host for the Action Lab. We're here every Wednesday and every Sunday to just give you all the information you need and anything sports, mainly NFL, because that's what's coming up here soon. So make sure you hit that follow button if you have not already, like everyone else has been doing. It means a lot. We love to have you part of our community. But we have Coming in Hot, which is a segment Scotty does at the end where he gets fired up about one specific topic and he goes off. He has a fun time talking about those things, or an angry time talking about these things. But
usually anger, right?
Usually anger, yeah. So a couple, I think my list on sleeper quarterbacks, and this isn't necessarily a sleeper, but Trey Lance in San Francisco. San Francisco still has a nice team out there that, if you miss out on some of the top quarterbacks out there, and Trey Lance is kind of hanging around in like the bottom, of your draft, and you're just like, man, like I missed out on everybody. Don't sleep on Trey Lance. He can do it with his feet. San Francisco puts together game plans. He's the guy. They know what they're getting with him moving into this season, as opposed to like going in with 2 quarterbacks that they don't know how they're gonna. That's their guy. So San Francisco.
Trey Lance is a top 12 quarterback in the league fantasy wise this year, not performance wise, but fantasy wise, top 12.
Fantasy, exactly. We're talking fantasy's different than just it's a lot different.
Love what he can provide with his legs. Doesn't really matter. He'll be boom or bust, because he will either connect deep or not connect deep on his passes. He could be really bad week to week, but there will be weeks he wins you your game. So depending on what else you have in your roster, Trey Lance is going to be a very boom or bust prospect for you.
Final sleeper for me before we get into busts, and if you have any sleepers, let me know, Scotty. But Kirk Cousins, we talked a lot about Minnesota. We talked a lot about all the weapons they have, the running game. They can open things up. They are going to be competitive this whole year. And, Jefferson is out. You got, Thielen, Jefferson. You got all sorts of weapons that he can throw to. And there's just high expectations for the Minnesota Vikings. And Kirk Cousins is not think of as like an elite. I mean, he's good, but he's not like top echelon. I think from a fantasy standpoint, he's going to get a lot done this year. So keep an eye on him as well. But anything else you want to add on sleepers for quarterbacks or anything?
No, I don't have a ton more there. We got people in the chat. Squan is skeptical of Trey Lance. Elijah Mitchell is going to dominate for them. I mean, San Francisco has always relied under Shanahan on their run game. I just think there's a little more upside there with Lance where it might work out better. But Milwaukee thinks Jimmy G will have more fantasy points than Lance. I don't even think Jimmy G is going to play for it. I mean, he's going to be traded or released and play as a backup for a team, maybe a starter. If he's a starter, there's 0% chance. Actually, in general, there's 0% chance that Lance doesn't score more than Jimmy G in fantasy. I'm not saying Jimmy G can't win more games than Trey Lance. It's yet to be seen with Trey Lance and whether he can win games. But fantasy-wise, Trey Lance is a way better option than Jimmy G.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, when it comes to, those kind of quarterbacks, Trey Lance, Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, maybe they don't win.
I hate all of them as winning quarterbacks.
You hate
but
all
they're
of them?
Very good.
They're very good in fantasy. So, like, those are kind of things that you want to think about, right? So, keep that in mind. There's two different games you're playing here when it comes to fantasy scoring, fantasy winning versus a guy who can win you a football game on the football field. So,
JK said some team grabs Jimmy G this season. No. Well, yes, but Jimmy G is going to be released within the week. Otherwise, the Niners are on the hook for all of his contract, and that won't happen. They're still trying to trade him. I don't think that works out, but they'll release him. They'll release him before they owe him the guaranteed money that's guaranteed this year because he's not going to play for him. So Jimmy G will be a free agent a week from now for sure. I don't know when the deadline is, but a week from now, Jimmy G will be certainly not with the 49ers. No chance.
Yeah, he's moving on. He's moving on for sure. Let's get into our running back, quarterback busts. Wide receiver, quarterback, running back. Let's see who we think is going to be, maybe
start us off, Chris.
Yeah, let's get us going here. So there's a handful of, we can start at the quarterback position. There's some that I feel are, stand out a little bit more to me that I might avoid. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to be bad, right? I mean, for instance, here, spam code yellow in the chat. You guys got it. You guys got this. I don't even need to remind you guys. But one guy that I'm hesitant on is a guy that signed a big contract in the offseason, and that's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, I know, has a very versatile skill set when it comes to running the ball, using his feet to make plays. But, I worry about him. I worry about now that he's paid. I mean, there's, all the questions with him studying, and I get all that. He's still going to go out and ball, right? But to put up the numbers at the valuation of a high draft pick, I just don't see him competing and getting the same fantasy points as maybe some of the other people on our lists, even some of our sleepers that we mentioned, like a Cousins, like some of these others. I worry about him. I worry about the injuries. He does a lot, and that's what worries me a little bit there. Again, Aaron Rodgers is another one that I might, they're trying to figure stuff out in Green Bay. I know we got, Milwaukee and Squand here. You guys are all about Aaron Rodgers and everything from that standpoint, but is it going to be the same Aaron Rodgers that we're typically used to seeing when, you only have, I know Milwaukee's, I know, when you only have, some sub-tier wide receiver options that are struggling to get their routes in. And, he's still going to make them better. Quarterbacks always make their players better. Squand, I never pick Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, you like, these are some guys that, for me, I if they're there later rounds, it's just we're talking about value. So if they're there at the top and you see like a Kyler Murray or an Aaron Rodgers, like maybe I don't pick them in like a top, in the top certain rounds of my draft. But if they're there later on, obviously you got to take them because there's more value as they fall in those drafts. So getting the value middle tier, lower tier for some of these guys, I think is there. But we're talking about guys who might not be able to have the same output that you would normally have. Any quarterbacks that come to your mind from bust standpoint?
It depends on who you decide is a quarterback that you're targeting. There's a lot of guys that aren't going to be top 10 that probably might be targeted top 10 just because, listen, I think Derek Carr is going to be hyped a lot, and I'm not against Derek Carr. I just don't think he's going to be a top 10 guy because he doesn't provide anything in the running game. Honestly, running game, you talked about Kyler Murray versus Aaron Rodgers. I think those quarterbacks on the field, and if I were to choose one on the field, are worlds apart. But in fantasy, I'd honestly choose Kyler Murray over Aaron Rodgers. And it pains me to say that. But Kyler Murray is a better fantasy football starting option, in my opinion, than Aaron Rodgers this year. It's just the reality of the legs and what you get for those points, and also the weapons that maybe Aaron Rodgers lacks in Green Bay versus Arizona that added Marquise Brown. It's going to get Hopkins back eventually to go along with everything else they have there. Like, they have a ton of weapons. Listen, Squan, Russell Wilson might be a bust.
I mean, the way people talk trash on Russell Wilson, I mean, I almost think he's going to be a sleeper the way everyone's just burying him this year.
Yeah, if you be honest for a second on one player, Chris, where would you, if you had to rank where Russell Wilson finished fantasy this year in quarterback play, where would you, and you can give a range if you want of like a few, so it doesn't have to be exact, but borderline, where would you think he would rank?
I think he's a top 15. I'm trying to picture where I see him ranking week in and week out from like a fantasy on like ESPN's rankings. I always check those. I always check a couple other spots. And I always there's always guys at the top like a Mahomes, and, when it comes to where they're ranked each week to go into that week. And I would say, he's probably in that, I would say 10 to 15 range weekly. Okay. Is where I would put him, which is, I think, standard. I don't think that's I don't think he's going to have a crazy insane season and be in a top 5. I don't think he's going to have a terrible season. I think he's going to be pretty average when it comes to fantasy this year, based off of the fact that, again, he is learning a new system, new coaching staff, new everything. He hasn't played in the preseason. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So I think that that's going to be a big piece of why he'll be next year. I think maybe depending on how he goes about things and how this team progresses and how the system progresses, maybe next year he turns into maybe something a little bit, more top tier. But I think he's mid-range there, 10 to 15.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Milwaukee's best. You have not even mentioned Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a great fantasy option.
So Jalen Hurts is probably one of my favorite quarterbacks in this fantasy draft. And
in fantasy, not in reality.
In fantasy. So yeah. I think he has probably some of the higher upside of a lot of the guys. I think he's in my tier. He's almost in tier 1 for me for quarterbacks.
Oh, he's not in tier 1.
Okay, you don't have to draft him tier 1.
Well, I'm definitely not going to draft him tier 1.
Well, tier 1 for me.
I love Hurts, but he's not tier 1. Who's in tier 1 for you?
Well, you have.
Go ahead.
No, yeah. You have Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
You have, I would say Lamar Jackson is just based off of just what he can do with his legs and what they're, I feel like he's tier 1. And I would put Jalen Hurts kind of barely teetering in on that. in that group based off of one, the things they put around. He was a stat machine last year. He threw up stats everywhere last year. And he has more weapons this year. Like, I feel like that's something that you can value. But I mean, all right, you could argue putting him down in like a tier 2. I wouldn't put him lower than tier 2.
I mean, how many people are in tier 1 and tier 2? That's defined by anybody, but tier 1 is a lot. Can he achieve and go up to tier 1? Yes, but I wouldn't get aggressive. I'm not a huge aggressive guy on quarterbacks in general. In fantasy.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you even mentioned you wouldn't take Patrick Mahomes even very early in your drafts. Serious.
I'm coming around on that because I think Patrick Mahomes is going to go scorch earth. I think Mahomes is going to finish as the number 1 fantasy quarterback in the league this year. And I still may not take him, but I honestly think Mahomes will finish as QB1 this year.
My contract is up at Sirius XM at 12 a.m. and Scott has so much praise for the Chiefs, but they have a weak spot at the left guard position.
No, they do not. Left guard? That's Joe Tooney, I believe. Joe Tooney, who they're paying like ridiculous amount of money for. They don't have no. Joe Tooney is one of the best left guards you'll ever see in football. Their only weakness on their offensive line, and they have a top 3 offensive line in the league, is that right tackle. That's it.
So Devil Doc shares this. His kind of. This is what we've been talking about this whole time between winning quarterbacks and what they do on the field versus fantasy. Hurst finished
a big difference.
Hurst finished outside the top 20 in passing yards and touchdowns last season, but he made up for it by leading his position in carries, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. So like that matters in fantasy. Like even though he didn't have statistically a great year that like helped him win a ton more games, he gets the stats. Like you get stats in losing games, just so you know. And that's
in our rankings. I think I ranked Hurts probably outside of the top 20, but in fantasy football, he's easily top 10. Easily.
So let's get into some more bust potentials here. Any other bust potentials when it comes to wide receivers, running backs, guys you might not be as high on?
Let's get it in the chat before. I don't even know. I hate hating on players.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think. All right, let me. Josh Jacobs is one of mine. Like bust. If I've been talking about Josh Jacobs for a while, don't draft him. Like, I mean, or you can draft him if you want. But there's guys that Josh Jacobs. We already know that McDaniels doesn't like to run the ball. Josh Jacobs is not a McDaniels guy. I don't think Josh Jacobs is going to be anything special. He's carried, what did I say, 130 times each of the last 5 years and has been average at best. Like it's not a great situation for a guy that they've built more running backs behind him to take over his role. Keep an eye on that. I don't think that that's going to be anywhere. I don't want anything about Josh Jacobs. Let's see others. Tyreek Hill is. I don't know how I feel about Tyreek Hill. I think he'll get stats. I think he'll get catches, but I worry about he's not going to get the yard. He's not going to get the downfield completions as much as he got with Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for those big time over the top plays, drafting Tyreek Hill at a very, very high range in your draft could be biting you in the butt if he's not getting those 60, 70 yard bombs from Patrick Mahomes. So I know Tua's very accurate, it sounds, but does he have the arm to throw it that far downfield and be accurate? I don't know if I love that. So Tyreek Hill is a very high-end drafted player at the moment. Keep an eye on him to maybe have a little regression.
So to be clear, Chris, You're a little down on Tyreek.
I think he'll still have a nice year from a fantasy standpoint. I just don't think it's going to be as
not based off of where he's drafted, though.
Yeah, and I have to look at average draft position for him. I haven't seen. I've been looking more at quarterbacks and some of the other running back positions, but
because all I've heard as a Chiefs fan is how the Chiefs will regress because they lost Tyreek Hill. Okay. Right? I mean, you've heard that. Mm-hmm. You've heard that. That's the main argument. When you look at the Chiefs from a distance, you're like, well, they lost Tyreek Hill. And don't get me wrong, they're not replacing Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is unreplaceable.
No. There's nobody that has that speed that goes, yeah.
But their depth is so much better. I had such a good point that now I'm forgetting, Chris.
Serious in the chat. Serious, I think you're in our Discord. We have a betting in our Discord. So he's like, I'll place a bet out that the Chargers will be better than the Chiefs this year. So
put it in the Discord, Serious, because I will take that bet in a second.
So yeah, so Serious, you could bet anything you want. Maybe it's like, if you want a hoodie or if you want like some merchandise or something from Action Lab, and then we can wager, maybe gifted subs on the other end. Like, we could do a lot of fun things with that. So go ahead and put that in there. I'm sure Scott would take that in a second.
I think my point with Tyreek is like everyone was pointing out that the Chiefs are going to be down because they lost Tyreek. But I don't feel like people are hyping up the Dolphins gaining Tyreek. So which is it, Chris? Which is it? Is it Tyreek is going to help a team a lot, or is Tyreek not a big difference factor? And I also think it depends on the quarterback.
Well, Tua is the biggest factor that I'm concerned about. But I think he can
Tua
still
literally has Waddle and Tyreek to throw to, which is the perfect combination for underneath throws that he needs to make. Because he can't throw deep. We know he can't throw deep.
You're going to be
getting limited.
I think you're going to be getting a lot more points from the individual catches, more so than the long bombs that you're used to.
Oh, with those two, for sure.
Than the long bombs that you're used to. So they'll rack up. But
I argue why people argue so hard on why the Chiefs are going to be worse because they lost Tyreek, but then they don't really upgrade the Dolphins based off of getting Tyreek. So which is it? Ooh. I promise you, it's both. The Dolphins are going to be much better because of Tyreek and what he presents because of the limitations with Tua. The Chiefs offense is going to be fine. The Chiefs offense is going to be a top 3 offense of the league without Tyreek. I promise you that.
Sirius wants to see Scott wear a Florida State hoodie if the Chiefs are worse than the Chargers this year.
Is that what it is?
Is that
all right? What are you? He's serious. What are you gonna do if the Chargers are worse?
Yeah,
it's got to be an even bet. So what do you? Maybe he's not like he said. Scotty last year shitted on my Florida State. I think everyone shitted on Florida State last year. No offense. Serious, they were just bad.
Serious, you let me know. How about you want to just do gifted subs? You want to do something else? You want to do?
All right, Serious. Listen. Yeah. You gift. All right, we're doing Chargers versus Chiefs.
Better record.
Better record. It's a push. If we finish with the same record, it's obviously a push. If I win, if the Chiefs win more games, I get 8 subs in our chat here. If you win, what did he want?
He wants you to wear a Florida State hoodie.
I will buy a Florida State hoodie and wear it. How many times do you want me to wear it? 3 times on stream? And I'll rep it. Yeah. I don't really have a problem with Florida State.
Okay, there it is. Serious. Throw that in the I think it's Lab versus Lab Rats in our Discord. Yep. In case you didn't know, there we go. There's our Discord. And then contests. To join our contests, there you go.
Ooh, Sirius made it better. He made it 20 subs. Chris, how do I get us all of our subs? Sirius is going to gift us 20 subs when the Chiefs win more games than the Chargers, which I guarantee they will do. It's so easy. It's so easy. I don't even have to do anything for that.
So we are getting towards the bottom of the hour here, and we have still to talk about the Survivor, which, by the way, we have our Pick'em and our Survivor leagues coming up. Make sure you join in if you have not already. They're free to enter. You win some sweet prizes if you finish at the top. So the more people that enter, the more prizes we will be giving away to the top tiered finishers. So, because you commit nuts on, yeah, it's true. It's true.
I appreciate it, Sirius. I'm ready to buy a Florida State hoodie and wear it multiple, and I'll even hype it. I'll hype it.
Scotty money ain't a thing in a good way. There we go. I
like that.
I like that. All right. So yeah, guys, approach your fantasy leagues with, do your studying, do your mock drafts. Make sure you guys are ready to go. We have our leagues are going off, one tomorrow, one on Monday. So, we'll be drafting those. But I know you guys have your work leagues. You have all these other leagues. We've already released our tier lists previously. So go back and check those out on our VODs, on our YouTube channel, on our podcast. You could always listen in when you're just at work or chilling out. You could always do all those things. So make sure you go in and just get some of our insights on those. But
Chris, you didn't mention if anyone has an upcoming draft and they're concerned and they want some advice, I can be hand in hand with you for a mere $35. It's not a lot. I mean, Chris, they're gonna win a league.
Yeah,
you laugh, but it's literally $35 to gain. How much is the league? Is it $1,000? I'll beat that league too.
Siri says, Scott, it's all out of love, brother.
Absolutely.
All out of love. Yeah, we love you, Sirius. We love all you guys. Appreciate all your it's gonna be fun. All the trash talk, all the fun, throughout the course of all of these contests. It's gonna be great to get to know. And guys, if you guys have fantasy questions throughout the NFL season, hit us with them so we can help you win your leagues, right? Tomorrow should be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into Survivor pool tips. Now, this is another thing that we have going on. Now, I love Survivor pool because there's it's just outpick, outplay, outlast, just like it says here. I think the furthest I've ever made it was week 12 or 13. Now, I've only done that once ever.
It's actually pretty good.
12 or 13, and I haven't eclipsed 8 outside of that. 8, 7, 8, somewhere around there. Because usually, I get burned by Baltimore or something stupid when they play a garbage team. I think at one point, I think they lost to Cincinnati. But how Survivor Pool works is you pick one team each week to win. That's it. They have to win. If they win, you can't use that team again. That team is checked off. You can't. So if you use all of your top, you use the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bucks. You use all the best teams right off the bat. You might be in trouble because
don't forget the Broncos, Chris.
Yeah, you're right.
It's so funny. That's hilarious.
You don't have to laugh about that.
The Broncos is a top team.
You want to save save the Broncos for your last because they're going to guarantee you that win.
Destined to 9-8.
Oh my goodness. So that's how it works. If you lose, you're out. If you win, you move on. Right? Woo! Says Unknown. Woo! What's up, Unknown? How we doing? So that's how this works. It's free to enter for our contest, but some strategies. Scotty, what are some of your strategies? I'll go into some of mine, but this is a lot more simple than fantasy football in a lot of ways, just because it's there's a lot less moving parts of injuries. I mean, basically, how do you approach picking your team each week? And then I'll talk about my approach. And
sure. I mean, if you're in a heavy league and you really, really want to prepare, and to be fair, I have performed terribly in these leagues. I have not been close to winning any of them. So take my advice, and I'm being honest here. Take my advice with a grain of salt. But I would map it out with your initial projections prior to the season starting, and map out week to week. I would put a large emphasis on home games. I would pick home teams more often than not if you can, based off the week to week. Develop a strategy before any games are played. You can change that strategy, but I would give the advice: develop a year-long strategy based off of, all right, week to week, this is where I think I should go, and I have a strategy. If that changes, that's fine. But at the same time, at least you have a developed strategy where you're not just picking the most obvious pick week one and you're like, oh, now I'm in a bad place because I picked in the first 4 weeks. I'm still in it, but I don't have any obvious picks anymore. Like, I have crappy teams to pick from. Like, you can't just pick the most obvious picks weeks to week. You have to map out the schedule. You have to figure out, all right, week to week, where's the most obvious play here, and develop a strategy from there. And again, I'm saying that from a vantage point that I'm terrible. I've been terrible at this. I feel like I should be good at it, Chris, but I've been terrible. I have not been close to winning any of these.
I feel like I've had more success than this than I have. And I mean, that's not, saying much. That like my best week was like week 13. But I will say though, look at divisions and like which teams play who.
Let's go.
Let's like, as far as like your divisions go, there's weaker divisions, there's stronger divisions. Playing matchups and playing like, look at travel schedules. When there's a team traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast in the early morning and you're strapped and there's like a bunch of bad matchups and you don't like any of them, those tend to have some impact on the team traveling from West Coast to East Coast playing in the morning games. So, those really make a difference when you're torn between a couple tight picks and you're like getting down to the wire. Look at those. But trends on maybe you pick the Saints against the Buccaneers because it's like that's one of the better matchups, and that they're going to crush the Tampa Bay Buccaneers each and every time they play them. That's kind of been the trend recently, right? So I mean, I'm not saying that like that's going to happen again, but I'm just saying like, keep those matchups. Matchups matter. Keep those in mind. Look at point spreads if you're into that. If you're into gambling and you understand point spreads, that's helpful sometimes. But it's not an end all be all. Those point spreads those can get kind of messy. But Siri says, best sports show on Twitch. You survived the summer blues. Let's go.
Thank you, Sirius.
If there's one thing that we tried to do, it's try to keep sports at the forefront. And
we noticed a lot of people, especially on Twitch, that were sports related in football season, moved away from it. We didn't want to do that. No. We're gonna hang in. We're gonna see. We'll figure it out. We're going to see what happens. We're excited to get back into the NFL, but we appreciate everyone who has followed throughout, and the fact that we have literally we're not killing it, Chris, but we're doing beyond expectations as far as like
what we ever thought.
Like people are literally watching us and hanging out with us, and that's all that matters. Serious, again, reach out to Chris, honestly.
Yep.
I'm very, very passionate. I promise you we will help out with Dr. J in any fashion we can with whatever's going on there, funeral services or whatever. I can't imagine. But thank you, Sirius, and we'll look forward to hanging out with you moving forward here.
So, Rec, still going on. What tips have I missed for Survivor? So, again, we'll recap these real quick. Yeah, so keep an eye on matchups when it comes to, certain division matchups. Just keep an eye on like travel when a team's traveling West Coast to East Coast and have his morning game. That might be tough for that team traveling, or vice versa. West Coast, that's a big factor.
And schedule it all out before the season starts.
Yeah, you can always look ahead on there's matrices that are out there that you can look at strength of schedule for each week of each, like Google. You can, and I like to do this too. It's not a secret. Google like pool, survivor pool matrix or survivor pool matchups, and you're gonna get these.
The first I'm hearing of this, Chris.
There's gonna be like a full season of like, and they have red and green based off of like how easy the matchups are. So maybe map that out too. So it's like, all right, I see Indianapolis is playing, a winnable game on week 14 against Tennessee or something. Like you can say, all right, maybe I that's when I pick Indianapolis because they're going to be good this year. I feel like they're going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and pick them to win that game because that's the most I'm just using that as an example. It could be any teams, but you can find.
I would try and map out before the season and having a favorite of 3 or more every week of the year prior to the season. And things can change and you adapt and evolve, but I think it's important to go in with a plan.
Yeah. So with all that being said, join in. Rec, can you throw the contest, !contest in one more time for everyone to join in? And it's free to play. We can have a lot of fun and see how long you can outpick, outplay, and outlast. Serious. AWS is coming out with NFL stats platform in October since they are doing Thursday Night Football. That's fantastic. I mean, that is the platform that is doing Thursday Night Football here on Twitch. So, with that being said, Scotty, it's looking. I'm hoping we can still do something with Thursday Night Football, regardless whether it's like an official thing with Twitch or whether it's just us doing it. We're going to be doing it. So, join us here that first game. We can't wait to be with you guys, and we're going to hit it hard. We're going to have some fun games to play during the game that are interactive with the game. So, I mean, Sunday Night Football, we do bingo. We do all the fun games with that. That's exciting. We gift out subs to the community with every bingo that, whatever. Patrick Mahomes throws 5 touchdowns and,
That's too easy of a bingo. He's clearly going to do that week to week.
Or whatever it may be. Drew Lock throws 3 interceptions and,
Bronco hater. Cool.
Well, that's going to happen. That's obviously going to happen. That's an easy bingo too.
I'm not sure it is.
So we're
Chris, what will happen to Bronco fans? Okay. And you know what I'm going to say here.
Nothing's going to happen because we're not going to lose.
What will happen to Bronco fans if Drew Lock starts for the Seahawks week 1, Monday Night Football at home against the Broncos and Russell Wilson, and the Seahawks win that game? It's gonna be a shitstorm in Denver.
It's not gonna happen.
I want that to happen so badly. You should want that for our show, Chris. You should want that to happen. Nope. It'll be so entertaining. It'll be so amazing. You should. Stop being selfish. You should want that to happen because it's gonna be epic.
Hey, Fireball. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate the love, Fireball.
What's going on? How was your stream?
I hope you had a great stream over there. Let's give a shout out to Fireball. And hopefully it was good. What's been going on? How's your week going? But no, I don't worry about shit that doesn't it's not realistic. So
are you saying there's no chance?
I mean, I would say there's a 97% chance that the Broncos win that game.
This feels like there's a wager involved where you have to do something a lot worse than I have to if you lose.
Okay.
Because fine. You said 97%.
Yeah.
I only have a 3% chance of winning.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out, but
we'll talk.
We're going to have a oh goodness.
I mean,
you're gonna have
any given Sunday, crazy shit happens, but
97. Sure, 97.
Have a good night, Reckoning, and everyone at Action Lab. Thank you, Fireball. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Fireball.
But it is the bottom of the hour, and we need to get to a coming in hot with Scotty A. Smith. Let's go ahead. Let's transition to that. We have a topic here that we're gearing up for the NFL season. We have preseason in the books almost here. It's wrapping up very, very quickly, and then we are only hold on to your butts. Let's go. 14 days, 15 hours, 47 minutes, and 45 seconds. That is
it's
fast.
so close.
So
I'm so here for that.
Reckoning. If Broncos lose, he needs to buy a Drew Lock Seahawks jersey. Ooh,
I like that.
Oh,
I like that a lot.
If you want to do that, I'll do that.
All right, tell me what my side is, but it has to be a lot less than that because you said 97%. You said 97%.
I did.
Chris.
I did. So
my side has to be 3% chance.
Yeah, 3%. And I think, let me think on that. Or you guys throw out some suggestions of what you think.
Yeah, throw out a 3% suggestion if you guys could. The 97 is Chris buying a Drew Lock Seahawks jersey, which might be a better jersey than the one he's wearing. Long term.
No shot.
No
shot. And then if Scotty needs a Tyreek Hill Dolphins jersey.
But that's, I love that play, but that's more of a 50-50 play. Not a 97-3 play.
Scott subs 15 subs. You have to donate 15 subs to the channel, to our community. But then
our whole sub, I get all our subs, Chris, due to my assery. I don't know how to describe it.
We'll think about that. We have 14 days to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, more than that because it's Monday Night Football. But Scotty gets a Brady jersey.
Yeah, that's been talked about.
Scott drink a drink on Tom's game.
Tomorrow's game?
Drink on
Tom's game?
Tomorrow's game. I missed. I don't know. Milwaukee.
I don't know if he's talking. Technically, the Chiefs and Packers play tomorrow. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't want to bet on tomorrow's game because I don't know. I mean, the last week of preseason is hands off.
Serious. Changed my mind. The bet is 25 subs. The Chargers are better than the Chiefs.
Woo-wee. Sirius is literally gifting us 25 subs right now. Sirius, do you want to just put the 25 subs in now, or do you want to wait till it's decided?
Or all right, how about this? So Scotty does a speech on why Russell Wilson will win the Super Bowl with Denver while wearing one of my Bronco jerseys on stream. Maybe something along those lines. Maybe.
Why? What are you doing, Chris? What are you doing?
I'm wearing an ugly Drew Lock Seahawks jersey.
Oh no, that'll be sexy.
Scotty sings a song of Chris's choice.
Yeah.
Reckoning. I'm good with that, Chris. All right. Well, we'll finalize it. But let's get to this coming in hot here, so that we can make sure that we're getting you guys to bed on time, because I know you guys got busy weeks ahead of you as well. So, Scotty, let's talk about some preseason football. Let's talk about some trends happening. Let's hold on to your butts and let's get after it. Scotty A. Smith coming in hot.
Listen, I'm gonna sound like Old Man River. I'm gonna sound like old fashioned. I'm gonna sound lame. I'm gonna sound like you don't know what you're talking about. But I remember a day and age, and follow me if you will, when literally there was just a code in preseason football. There were 4 weeks. You played your starters for 1 quarter in week 1, 2 quarters in week 2, 3 quarters in week 3, and then week 4 you didn't play them. You already knew your roster. You were ready to go. You rested them. All good. That's not where we're at now. We are at a day and age where we're out of control. No one plays their starters. My Chiefs do play their starters, and people were hating on it And I'm like, why? I hate a coach that has a defensive mentality. And I think the worst thing that could have happened as far as preseason goes is the Rams winning the Super Bowl last year. Because Sean McVay has always been a proponent of never, ever, 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 ever having their starters touch the field in the preseason. And that's fine. I'm not saying that can't work. I am just saying that's a sad mentality to live with. That's a sad mentality. You're practicing day to day. You're going up against, most of these teams are practicing against other teams every day. And I'm trying to think of like, all right, well, maybe they're just looking at quarterbacks because other injuries happen in practice, right? You're just as likely to get injured in practice as you are in a preseason game, likely, especially when you're playing a quarter, 2 quarters, whatever it may be. But what about quarterbacks? Quarterbacks aren't hit in preseason. They wear a red jersey. Someone tell me a quarterback you remember in preseason getting hurt that affected a team's roster or starter prior to, the only one I can think of is literally Trent Green for the Rams back in the day. And by the way, they filled in with a man named Kurt Warner in that situation. So it actually worked out great for that team. Listen, I'm here to be like, why can't we? It's a sad mentality. Can we not play the starters? And I'm not saying play the starters for the whole game. I'm not saying play the starters at all in week 3. I'm saying, what about a quarter? What about the 2 quarters the next week? We have a guy in the middle of the screen laughing as the new Broncos quarterback. Okay? This man hasn't called plays in a couple years. He was an offensive coordinator in Green Bay. Hasn't called plays. You're a first-time coach. You have a first-time offensive coordinator. You have a first-time defensive coordinator in the league. You're doing 3 roles you've never done before. And in fact, you're calling plays as the head coach, but you haven't done that in a few years either. Oh, and by the way, we traded for a brand new quarterback that's never played with our players before. And you're not going to play your starters at all. And you're going to go out on a limb and just literally say, I don't find preseason valuable. Okay. I'm not saying that preseason playing guys is going to help you win a Super Bowl. I am not saying that. But to be new as a coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach, and to not want to get on the same page in a real life game situation and figure all that out. There are things at play there. Whether you want to believe it or not, there are things at play. That concerns me for the head coach moving forward. That you're so afraid. He says, oh, it's risk reward, and I don't really want to risk it. Are you always afraid? I wouldn't practice your guys that you're worried about getting hurt either. They could get hurt moving an inch. Don't start those guys. Don't mind Andy Reid, who literally is held to the book and started Pat Mahomes in their first 2 preseason games this year. By the way, he scored a touchdown on every drive he's committed to, 3 of the 3. Is Mahomes more important than anyone else in the Broncos? Yes. Yes, he is, because he's absolutely more important than any of these guys. I just don't understand where the NFL is headed. And if you're headed in a direction, why have preseason games? Just stop it altogether. I know it's a moneymaker for the teams, but it's embarrassing to force your season ticket holders to have to pay for these preseason games where no starter even plays. And that wasn't the deal prior to 10 years ago. That wasn't what happened. So I was comfortable with it. You knew what you were getting into. Now, no starters play. The coaches literally give less than 2 shits. They don't care about these games. I don't want to pay for it if I'm a season ticket holder. I don't. And they need to adjust for it. I know it's down to 3 games now, maybe 1 home game, and it's going to be down to 2 soon. But if these coaches are coming out literally and saying, I hate preseason football, then just stop playing preseason football games. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If the coaches hate it enough that they won't provide a product that's decently worthy of watching, then we shouldn't pay for it. And we should remove that from the situation. And I'm fine with that. But the fact that I'm in the mentality of go big or go home. So when people are afraid, new coaches, new systems are afraid preseason and what might happen to their players if they get hurt in some off chance, which hasn't happened to a starting quarterback in over a decade, by the way. But they're so afraid. That mentality bleeds to me. That mentality of fear, that mentality of I'm not ready to achieve greatness. I'm ready to not suck. And everyone's going to think I'm wrong. And that's fine. But to me, that mentality sucks. Dare to be great. Dare to challenge your players. Dare to be the best version of yourself in week 1. Whether it affects yourself based off a random injury that could happen every week. Or it could happen in practice. Injuries are a reality and they suck, and I get it. To be so confident that you're so good that you don't need a real live situation normally is bullshit. It's total bullshit to me, Chris. I'm done.
I mean, Sean McVay kind of set the standard for this when they won the Super Bowl, right?
And no one followed it before it, Chris.
Well, yeah, and they said, oh, well, if he's able to go out and win a Super Bowl by not playing a single starter, hey, maybe there's something here that we can, piggyback off of. So that's why, I mean, you see that with LaFleur in Green Bay, hasn't played anybody. You see that here in Denver. You see that with the Rams. You see it all over.
Kids suck. They suck. They're scared, Chris. And they're literally scared. And that doesn't mean they can't win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying these scared coaches can't win a Super Bowl, but they're playing scared.
Well, and I'm with you 100% on the Denver thing, is the fact that Denver's in a certain situation where it's like they do have a lot of shit they need to figure out. They do have a lot of systems that they need to implement and work out when it comes to real game time, implementation. You have to be able to put those things on the field. And if you've only been doing that in practice and you haven't been able to, that tells me you're going to struggle a little bit when it comes to you actually playing in full speed games. Now, maybe the Rams, they're like, oh, we're good. We already have a Super Bowl team that we're coming off of, and we're already good because we have Matt Stafford and Allen Robinson and Aaron Donald and all of this, right? So but still they're still doing pretty much the same thing, right? They're trying to save their guys. They're trying to play it safe. I'm with you. I like just getting the guys out there regardless of what happens. But Denver mostly, you got the Rams already know their offense. They already know the system. They already, they're not changing much. The Packers, they're not changing much. They have some new people in there, but still, there's not really a lot. Denver has the most to mesh with going into a season. They have all new shit everywhere. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that. It's only a matter of time before more teams do this. And to your point, again, if you're a season ticket holder, this sucks. These are meaningless games that no one cares about except for the coaches that are making the cuts, for the guys that they're trying to put on their roster that you're never going to remember their names in the first place. You're watching trash football in the preseason that doesn't matter. Guys who won't even make the rosters are playing these games. So,
take a drink in there. What else did we have in there? Serious, these guys are cool. Broncos, still puzzled by that, Scott, and definitely a big risk for the first-time head coach. honestly, I wouldn't have even gone on this rant outside of locally. The Denver take is like super weird. That's the most weird. Bizarre.
Yeah.
When you're a first time at everything, I would think you want some game live experience to get everyone on the same page and how you react during the game. You know, as a squad and a team, and like first time head coach, first time OC, first time DC, first time quarterback in this system. Like every moving part you can imagine is new in Denver. And they're not gonna play a single guy. And he's come out and said, I don't care about preseason. Right or wrong, that's how he feels.
So Reckoning, well, first Sirius says, Chris has too much confidence. I have confidence in my Broncos. It takes time to implement a bunch of stuff, right? It takes time to, when you see a team make big trades in the NBA or the NFL, or they change out an entire system, like that takes time. Like that doesn't just all of a sudden, like I understand that there's going to be growing pains with that. Reckoning in the chat. Let me play devil's advocate. Why should the coaches that play their starters be punished by the teams that don't want to? Why should they be forced to not play games when other teams want to?
I'm not saying anyone should be forced to do anything. I just feel like a decade ago there was a uniformed. It was just the way it was. There were 4 preseason games. Week 1, your starters played a quarter. Week 2, they played a half. Week 3, they played 3 quarters. And week 4, you didn't play them because it was too close to the season or whatever. And now it's not uniform anymore. And literally starters don't play preseason at all. And to me, that's the problem. I'm not saying you should be forced to do anything at all as a team, especially in preseason. You should do what you want as a coaching staff, as a playing staff, whatever. But I think it's in your benefit to play. And honestly, I think it's the benefit of the NFL and it's the benefit of the teams watching. Like, as a Chiefs fan, I'm super appreciative. Mahomes doesn't need to play preseason, right? Like, no, there's no reason for Mahomes to play. But Andy Reid has his system, and Mahomes he's played 3 drives so far in 2 preseason games and scored a touchdown every single one of them. And that leaves me satisfied as a fan. Whether that matters or not for the league, I don't know. And whether I think that helps, I do think that helps the Chiefs moving forward. I think it's important to get live situations. You can't replicate that. You can't replicate live because any practice you're playing, your quarterback's in a reg jersey outside of those preseason games before your first game. Your quarterback's in a red jersey, which means he's untouchable. You can't touch him. And a lot of teams do dual practices, right? They practice with another team. It's a live practice, this and that. But it's not real, Chris. It's not real football because you can't touch the quarterback.
Yep.
So while it may help, it certainly helps. I'm not saying don't do that, but it's not, to me, as helpful as a real life preseason game. And to be afraid of injury in a preseason game, especially at the quarterback position, to me just screams your coach doesn't have the confidence going forward to know that you're going to be better than everyone else. Like, it screams I'm scared rather than I'm confident. I would rather have a coach that's like, you're going to be fucking fine, and I want to see you out there and you're going to own this and you're going to dominate. I would rather see that as a coach, than a coach that's like, I don't want to play you because, man, you could get hurt before our regular season where we're destined to go 8-9.
I mean, practice is practice and games are games. Like there's just a massive difference. JK in the chat, I hate that season ticket holders are asked to pay full price for those games. Sabres do it for the preseason and the hockey as well. I'm asking, why should the preseason be abolished when some teams still care about it?
Not a lot, though. Not enough.
Serious. Andy Reid is the best quarterback coach and offensive OC. Look at what he did with Michael Vick. Look at what he did with Patrick Mahomes, coming from a Texas Tech offense to be a Super Bowl champ. Yeah.
No doubt. So he knows what he's talking about. So I'm just frustrated, Chris. I just think and maybe it's a statement on society, but we live in constant panic of what could happen instead of just living in what is.
Yep.
We're so afraid of what could happen that we miss out on life, Chris. And I'm not saying that in a football sense necessarily. No quarterback that's not playing in preseason is missing out on life, but it's an analogy that makes sense. Like, starving them from that situation is just protecting them from what? From what? What are we protecting? When is the last time, Chris? Because the last time I've thought of a starting quarterback got hurt in preseason was literally Trent Green for the Rams. Back in when they then moved to Kurt Warner and went to the Super Bowl. So I don't feel bad for that team. And since then, I literally cannot pinpoint a quarterback that's been hurt in preseason that has missed time. I can't. I could be wrong. Help me out in the chat, guys, if I am. Help me out. But we're shying away from something that isn't actually a real thing.
I mean, Milwaukee earlier said Jordy Nelson blew out an ACL in preseason.
Yeah, I'm talking quarterback.
Yeah,
quarterback.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but those guys are running routes constantly in practice. I mean, that could happen. That could happen all the time.
I mean, Von Miller tore his ACL in practice on the last play. I mean, I'm
talking quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, you're right, though. It can happen. My point is, it can happen to anybody at any time, regardless of practice, regardless of training camp, like pre-workout stuff, regardless of, just anything. Like, you can't always.
I think Von Miller heard it in camp. It wasn't even a preseason game. It was in camp.
Yeah. So most of these guys have insurance policies if they get hurt. Totally. But anyways, so that's where we're at with this. It's an interesting trend. I'm curious to see how it progresses. If, like, let's say, 3 teams or 4 teams did it this year, how many teams do it next year? I think the Bears were holding out guys as well, if I'm not mistaken, or I don't know. It's just
eventually. I think this week everyone's going to hold out starters. I think this last week before your first regular season game, you hold out starters, and that makes perfect sense to me. I also think the preseason has gone from 4 to 3 games. It's going to go to 2 because the regular season is going to go to 18 in a few years. So we're going to be down to 2 regular season or preseason games, but at the same time, play some semblance of a roster in one of them to reward your fans, to reward what they're paying, and also to prepare for the season. I just don't understand the scared mentality. It sucks.
Cuban says, sure, an accident can happen, but sometimes you just need to get in there and actually bang around with full speed. When they go home, do these coaches even have Raw Dog Wednesdays?
I mean, how do they not have Raw Dog Wednesdays? I'm trying to get off air right now for that, Cuban.
There we go. I mean...
Roger.
Scott, I look forward to losing this bet. Serious. I look forward to you losing this bet. Serious. What was remind me of the bet again? Let's get it out there in the chat.
Lock it in.
To be sure, what is the bet defined by you? So I can be sure that I dominate this. But also serious, honestly, give us,
we'll be in touch,
whether it's Chris or I or both of us, info on Dr. J, so we can
do something.
We can help her out in this situation.
Yep.
Like, I promise I will do anything and everything I can to help her out in this time, because that's unimaginable.
Reckoning in the chat mentioned, instead of living in the moment, which is something we always stress at the end of our show. There's 2 things that we always say at the end of our show. It says we always say live in the moment, and we always say go out and be a good person. Living in the moment can't be hitting home harder today than any other, because when you do live in the moment with those that you care about, with the people around you, in the moments that you're out there, like, you just never know when something tragic can happen, like tonight with Dr. J. And so, it just makes you want to, think about that on a deeper level for sure.
Hug, literally, if you can tonight or early tomorrow, hug each and every person that you can. Just show them how much you love them. Yep. Like that's what it brings to, is like, it's really important to just show the people you love how much you love them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll connect with you afterwards. I too appreciate the support, Scott. Yeah. No, we care about you guys. I mean, we say this all the time. You guys are our family here. I mean, the credits are rolling. We're at the end of our show. And this sometimes is one of the, like, I love and look forward to this Wednesday and this Sunday night each and every week, because you guys really are what this community is all about, and we care about you more than you know. Like Scotty and I talk about you guys all the time, even offline, in our Discords. We are always talking with you guys. So, we want to make sure that you guys have our support, and you guys are always supporting us anyway. So thank you so much for everybody here. We appreciate all of you more than you know, for everything you help us do for this channel, and we couldn't do it without you. So
Broncos love to support you, and don't need to get into details there, but Broncos seems like a awesome individual, and I'm happy to help in a tough time. And like anything we can literally do to help your guys' situation, we would be happy to. Whatever we can do. Life is hard. Life is super hard. We try and be really fun on this stream, Chris. That's what our goal is. Remove yourself from everything else, and let's have fun, and let's talk about sports, and let's have a good time, and let's talk trash, let's be kind, let's agree, let's disagree, all of those things. But at the end game, there are a lot of serious things going on in your guys' life that are hard and difficult and unimaginable for a lot of us to imagine. So we're happy to help. We appreciate you guys being here. We love you. Broncos, love you, man. Happy to help out. Serious. Thanks for letting us know. Love you. Love Dr. J. Anything we can do there. And thanks for joining, guys. What else do we got here? Football Wife. Good night, everyone. Love you, Football Wife. Football Wife is literally the greatest human being on earth.
Thank you for all the support. I had to
project it.
Stream tomorrow no stream tomorrow. We'll just be drafting.
Are we not? We're not going to stream for it?
I don't know. Did you want to? I mean, I don't think I was mapping
We talked about it.
Yeah, but I didn't know if we decided. Are we? We can.
I mean, you're going to draft for it, right?
I'm drafted.
I mean, unless you're super busy.
Well, guys, join our... We'll talk through this. There's a chance we'll
want to. Chris doesn't.
I don't.
Just to be clear.
We can make something happen. We can figure it out. We'll post on our Discord, and we'll also post in our socials if we end up doing a stream tomorrow for the draft. So yeah.
Cuban didn't have a good question that we didn't discuss. Chris, I don't know if you saw this. Weird timing, but any thoughts on Vanessa Bryant getting paid, and it was corrected to $16 million? Did she really need that from the taxpayers? So she got rewarded $16 million based off of the media and then portrayal and like them putting out clips and scenes and pictures of the site without approval from other people or whatever that involves. I'm not an expert on that, Chris.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, honestly.
And I haven't dove into it that much either, but let me I'll take a look at that a little bit deeper. Let's talk about that on the next stream, and like, because I think there's still some things developing with that, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that's happening as well.
Football Wife, just to be clear, Football Wife's asking what time we're streaming for our first draft tomorrow. Football Wife, you're in that draft. So you should probably participate.
Just keep if you
make sure whether you're here, but you need to be on ESPN and get in the draft for our league tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. What is that? Central, 8 p.m. Mountain, 7 p.m. Pacific. I'm covering all the time, so there's no one that should not understand what time it's happening tomorrow. Everyone be there, be square. It's gonna be a good time.
Yep.
I think, Chris, I'm gonna convince you to go live tomorrow at maybe like 7:45, 15 minutes before the draft, and everyone else can join us, and we'll have a good time with it. I think it'll be more fun for everybody.
All right. Well, guys, keep an eye on your notifications.
Chris doesn't want to do it.
No, I'm down. I don't really have much going on a Monday, so it's Thursday. I don't even know.
Football was like, I was actually asking what time the stream would start if you go live. Probably only like 15 minutes before.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be our time. It's actually 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Mountain, 10 minutes before the stream will probably go live.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead. We will wrap things up here. And I was going to send you over to a new musician here. We've been sending you to musicians just to like wind you down for the night. And this gentleman, office drummer, he's dressed. He's got a tie. He's got everything. He's got all the. He was jamming out here for a second. He had like a cool backdrop and everything. So go give him some love. And we will see you back here tomorrow night, probably. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. If not, we'll see you back here Wednesday if you don't want to hang out for the draft and stuff. But
or Sunday.
Or Sunday. I don't even know my days anymore. If it wouldn't be a normal stream if I didn't know my days. But we'll see you here very soon regardless.
We're going to see you guys. For sure.
We'll send you over. I hope he's not done. He's just taking an intermission here, but go give office drummer some love, and we will see you back here soon. Love you guys.
Thanks, you guys, for all the love. Cuban, football wife, Devil Doc, Helv. Who you picking at 1? I'm at 2 in the draft on Monday, so just put that in the chat real quick so I can prepare. JK, thank you guys so much. Everybody that's been involved, thank you guys for the support. We'll see you. Whether we see you or not tomorrow, some of you will participate in the draft for sure tomorrow. So looking forward to that. We'll have some fun and good luck.
And guys, again, last thing. A lot of you guys say that you guys appreciate the show, and that means the world to us. If you want other people that you know to come in and join the show and be a part of it too, we would love to have more people that you guys know to jump in and talk some sports. So, we appreciate that you guys love it, but let's spread the word to get more people loving it, because that's what really growing our community to get bigger and better. It's what it's all about. So, have a great night. We will see you soon.
Thanks so much. Broncos, we appreciate you as well.